What's up? What's going on? Welcome to another episode of Hope. It's going to be another one of them ones. Excited to be here, excited to get into the mix. The beauty of this class and what we teach is that you're being taught by people who are in the field. They're out there in the mix with you. So it's the things that gets experienced real time a lot of times can get reiterated and broke down and taught in class. A lot of times it's a weed in the weed situation. The more access we have to social media and to media itself, the more there will be people out there who will hit licks off people like you, who are eager to learn and want to grow, and they will take advantage of that based on just sheer ignorance. So you got to be careful. I'm seeing sometimes I sit back and watch certain people who they may even amass large followings of people, and they didn't get there through building businesses. They got there through being popular. And those two things are completely different. And you can get steered down wrong paths and be confused because you're doing the right thing by seeking knowledge and going after it. And the difference is it sounds so good. It sounds logical. And if somebody's sitting up there and they Louis Vuitton'd out, or they have an appearance of success, then that sometimes can shake you off your mental rockers and you get caught up. So as time goes on, continue to be diligent. Challenge the people that you're listening to. Challenge them. I think that's in the Bible too, where it said Paul said that to challenge to see if the word is good. Challenge it. Challenge me, challenge Nana, disagree, don't disagree, you're not feeling it, I don't understand, that doesn't work for me, that didn't work for me. All those are wonderful statements because we love to mix it up and break concepts and ideas down and reiterate or give context and content based on things that get taught in the class. So we love that. So feel free. That's how you know. I remember going to one of the reasons why, well, I won't say that. Just know this. So you cannot put your progress and your growth as an entrepreneur in the hands of somebody that you do no research on, based on just trusting their word. I need receipts. Do not listen to people who ain't where you want to be. And a lot of times, the path in which they got there is unsimilar to your path. Please. It don't have to be me. But you have to be in a place to where you're always checking for receipts. It's that's the game. That's nature. That's nature. And nature knows. That's why there's plants that have things that look like eyeballs, because it knows how dangerous nature is. Some animals have things on the back of their head that look like they're looking at you because it knows how dangerous nature is. That's why a thing called camouflage in animals is so powerful. A snake could be sitting right on a tree and you don't see it because it's a cold game out there in nature. So you never want to be like, it's not fair, or why did they do that to me? Because motherfuckers do that shit. People do it. So, and unfortunately, black culture gets preyed upon the most because we know that everyone knows that economically we're in the bottom tier. So The ones in the bottom tier, a lot of them are seeking. So be very cautious about who and what and where you absorb knowledge to. All I'm saying is make sure you ask for receipts. And again, man, we challenge me. Disagree if you don't.
I do have a little bit of a challenge. First, I want to say I completely agree with you, though. But there is a conflict that I'm thinking in my head as I see these offerings online. Matter of fact, before I came out tonight, I seen a couple online. They got the Bentleys and the Benzes, and hey, follow me type of thing. And is that not? And as we're saying, somebody doesn't have that experience actually running that business, but then isn't that also a business that they're conducting? They're generating revenue, although the outcomes for their customers are not what they're being promised, but they are generating a stream of revenue for these folks who now think that they're involved in some sort of a spiritual connection to this guy, so I can get closer to being like him in this Bentley.
Yes. But the misleading part of it is the how. Is the how. If I pull up in a Bentley right now and you say, damn, Court, got a Bentley? Yep, just bought it. Cash. What? Cash? Cash. Walked up to the dealer. How much you want for that? $500? I give you $450 right now, cash. Took it. Bam. So now you're thinking, what you don't know is I won the lottery. What you don't know is my dad built a successful business from the ground up, something to nothing, and he passed it down to me. What you don't know is that I married a woman who hit a major lick, and she was the real business person, and she put me on. What you don't know is I hit a hype cycle. I went on some contest, and in that hype cycle, I got super popular for 4 weeks, and then it died down. But I took that money and I bought a Bentley with it. What you don't know is that 3 weeks from now, all the hype around what I'm doing is going to die off, and now I'm going to be pawning that Bentley off. Like, there's hella other variables to the Bentley, hella variables. So all I'm saying is make sure that what you're asking for, or you're listening to, is related, is correlated to who you are. So if you want to be a personal development speaker, then find people who became successful off personal development speaking. A lot of times personal development speakers will tell you how to be a successful entrepreneur when they built their wealth off teaching people how to build businesses that they never personally built. And yes, they have receipts in terms of material things. The receipts I'm talking about is, how did you make this money? Not the receipts of Bentley or a big house. Anybody can get that shit. There's various ways. It's how did you get yours? That determines whether or not I'm in alignment with the information that you're giving me. How'd you get yours? How'd you get it? Oh man, I started from nothing. I started homeless. I'm this and that. This. Okay, cool. All right, let's keep going. And then I did. Now you built a long game trajectory about how you built the business. There's very little that you can teach somebody if you're in the middle of a hype cycle and you're brand new, because everything is so surreal. And it looks like you can just shoot from anywhere on the court and it's going in. And you're like, yeah, so, I just close my eyes, I visualize. Like you have these phases of time where you just have this super sliver of a view, not knowing if you've been in the game 5, 10, 15, 20 years, you have a full spectrum. And now you can be like, yeah, I know, I used to say that shit too. Yep. And that died around year 3, right? Yep. I knew it. And then this happened, huh? Yep. Because that's full spectrum versus the small sliver that like from that last week's slide, that small sliver. Seasoned entrepreneurs, you know when you've had ups and downs and all arounds and in betweens, and you've survived through certain major things. You have a wisdom about you that gives you the authority to share your information with other people. But if you in your early if you know, young and good looking and you hit a hype cycle, of course people are going to be attracted to you. You got to resist the urge to be like, I know I'm not ready to do that because I'm a steer. I haven't came around the mountain yet. So that's the key. The receipts you're looking for are not material receipts. The receipts you're looking for is experience receipts related to who you want to be. See what I'm saying? If you're a white man in America, you can only give me limited amount of information if you got successful. There's valuable information you can give me for sure, but there's still limits to it. Because I come from a different spectrum. So I need to pull resources from people who have spectrums similar to mine to see how'd you do it. What'd you do? How do you deal with the hood politics? How do you deal with street politics, police politics, friend politics, white man politics, business politics, all at the same time, and build your business? How'd you deal with that? The majority of people outside will be like, what do you mean street politics? Oh, we know what that means. We know what that means. So it's all kind of other elements that you can use, and you can pull resources from other books to help relate to that particular topic. But if a person sits on the mountain and says, hey, I know, and believe me, bro, I didn't got caught. I didn't spend racks on racks on racks at the beginning of my stages to these stuff like that. Seminar, I didn't spit bread. I didn't spit bread. More than 30K, more than 40K, more than that. So it's not like because when I'm hungry, I'm going after it. And so I didn't sat through some bullshit, but I've sat through some things where I learned game too, but a lot of bullshit. So, and that was 10, 15 years ago. It's even crazier now. Bananas right now. Social media, you get a quote a day. You can scroll and be like, oh man, you could be goosebumps. Oh man. And the thing is, those people use that same formula, that same one formula. It's one formula that gets passed around. So be very, just be smart. Just discernment is the word. Discernment is the word.
This is why I told you don't turn my mic down, because I have to talk to myself. One of the things I want to add, and to highlight your point, what you were trying to highlight is also like, so once they're running the business, do they then develop knowledge to change the quality of their teaching, right? Their product is not teaching. Their product is tapping into these emotional, inspirational points to get you excited like there's a destination you can achieve. Why that motto is just absolute trash. I don't even try to separate one from the other. He knows he's nicer than I am. And he's been nice in this conversation. But the reason that motto is trash, because once you enter this game, you're in a continuum of constant decisions. Not one, not two, not a series of great decisions. You have to be in constant decision-making mode. And you have to learn to think beyond your intelligence. I'll get into that later on. So those guys are when they there's 3 steps, 5 steps, they always speak destination talk. There is no destination. There's just no, you can get here don't mean you can stay there. And even you get here, it look like the next level is just really easy to get to. It's like, he works out, right? So he'll tell you, there's a big difference between, there's not a big difference between 200 and 210 if you bench press it. There's a big difference between 350 and 360, right? As you get higher, the stress level, the tolerance level, what is possible level, all that is drastically different. So what I'm saying is that they don't teach you how to improve decision-making, worldly wisdom. They don't teach you how to. They're not creating a practice environment where you can, because even their pricing system is, I'm going to give you the secret. There really is no such thing like that. Even if I give you an idea, say we just take any of the things that he's about to go over, if you can't tie it into a model system and see how it works in multiple different ways, you still don't have it, right? And so one of the things that's happening about this class, if you notice, we do a lot of looping on certain issues because we're trying to help you actualize these principles and these models where they become these models that you can actually use as opposed to just these cool quotations. And so those programs, they copy and paste. It's like going to a church where the church gets everybody hyped. They literally copy and paste everything. And a lot of times they copy and paste bad information and they don't never review it because as long as the crowd responds and the people are spending money, that's their measurement of success, not the long-term impact of your growth. Big difference. Matter of fact, colleges, and this is my last point, currently colleges are going through that right now, which is what is the value of our investment, right? What's the return on our investment? Because for years, colleges was running like some of these motivational speakers, which is get this degree, the world's promised to you, and then we find you later on damn near working for minimum wage. And so the reality is that the difference about this class is that because we're in the battle all the time, we're giving you. Not only is this class a practice, that's why it's hard to do this class for 1 week or 1 year, because you're finding is for example, let's say you worked on your ego last year and you got to this point here. Then you make a lot of money. There's a new ego waiting on you that you got to learn about that didn't even exist down here. You was Mr. Humble, Jesus Christ's cousin, want to save the world. Now you way up here and stunned, and your ego's a whole different beast. And so you need that environment to revisit these ideas. You need an environment to bring your peers for feedback. So those institutions, they're modeling this idea that just doesn't work when he talks about long-term sustainability in a world that's random, uncertain, and always changing. So it's just, I can't motivate you. Even if I'm a life coach, if I really want to be honest, a life coach is really just trying to make you hear yourself and see yourself. They can't, most life coaches I don't have no value for them.
Yeah, let's get cracking. First slide. Yeah, we coming in hot.
By the way, that's dope how you came in to this conversation.
All right, recap. Last week we talked about spectrum, right? Understanding spectrums and understanding the spectrum of survival that we are in. The spectrum of survival that most of us come from is the guiding factor of our life. If we don't understand how to play this game, the survival game, the spectrum of survival, how to move ourselves out of survival, is nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do to grow or learn anything, because naturally we'll sabotage it. So we have to learn how to wind our way out of survival mode, how to find tools and how to weave our way out of survival mode. We'll sabotage everything. No matter how smart you are, how many books you read, education, college, everything, if you can't get out of survival mode, you'll find ways to put yourself back in there. So this is critical. Ain't nothing that we could teach that can get you out of that. So some keys out of survival mode. As a reminder, reason why I put them all up there, because it's that important for you to work on these. It's that important. Optionality and second order thinking. Second order thinking says, what happens next? Then what? Then what happens? Second order thinking allows you to think through situations and positioning to the second and third and fourth step that can give you tools to make good decisions. Optionality thinking. Always thinking optionality. What are my options? What are my options in this situation? How many options do I have? There's rarely ever just one option. I don't know none. I don't know no option. I don't know situations where there's just one option. Oh, you only got one option. Shit, hell, I do. I got a few options. They may not be fun, but I got other options. Always think in terms of optionality and pick the best option. Take time to think it through. You don't have to say yes in the moment. You don't. You don't have to say yes. Find ways to calm your mind through meditation, bike riding, working out, whatever those tools are that you use to calm your mind and take your mind back to the center. You need that. And you practice it because we are working on the stimulus and response. Stimulus and response. It sounds cliche as hell, but it works. It works. Stop trying to be comfortable all the time. Stop trying to be comfortable all the time. It's ruining you. You being comfortable all the time, those of you who are always seeking comfort, it's ruining you. It's making you rotten. And then you want to try to get up and move something and it don't work. Always looking for ways to be uncomfortable, challenging your mind, your body, your spirit, your emotions. This is the best tool that you can use because what you're doing is you're stretching your spectrum. You're stretching it out because what you want is on the other side of comfort. What you want is on the other side of comfort. So it leads to the next point. You want to be around people who push you. You do not want to be the smartest dude, the fastest, the best, the richest in your room. We was just talking about that before class, about hitting weights. And you don't realize how strong you are if you in a group where you the weakest dude in a group. You won't realize how strong you are till you get out the group. So you always are seeking groups that's with the shit. That's about that. So then you forget that y'all in the 1% because you so busy tussling back and forth. Like I said, some of the groups I'm in, they little brother me, and it irritates the fuck out of me. But you know what it does? It also keeps me stretching, growing, expanding, going after it. So your environment plays a major role because the influence from your environment is going to affect you. The influence from your environment is going to affect you. Scientists and science is getting better at this every decade. And what they're finding and their understanding is that environment they're finding that it plays almost a more important role in your development than your genetics. Listen to that. You can be genetically destined for a particular type of behavior or being, but in the wrong environment, it can mutate you. And it can happen the other way too. I'm telling you. So you curate your environment. You get to curate your environment. Rich feedback loops. Rich feedback loops. And we're going to talk a slide next that goes deeper into that. I'm sorry, Shabisha, I didn't took your job. And then the raising of your self-value. And we talked about the 3 ways to do that. And this is a daily practice. And there's not 5 steps. It's not 10. It's not 15. It's not 20. If y'all are into the steps, I can tell you the steps. Hold on, let me calculate. It's about 28,973 steps. Cool? Cool. Any questions on that? No? Because this is real shit. This is the equivalent of your heart or your brain in business, in life. The importance of this kind of stuff, learning how to navigate in survival, is the equivalent of your heart or your brain. Without those two things, nothing moves. All right, next slide. All right, keep going.
Let us normalize the more candid I am to you, the more I love you.
Let that sit. I'm going to let that marinate in the refrigerator overnight. The more candid, let's normalize this. We're in a society now where it's, I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to make you feel shame. So I'm going to tiptoe around everything around you and create help you create the delusional world for yourself. And we don't progress at all. But in this room and online, this class is we wolves. We're looking to move our needles as fast and as hard and as efficient as we can. We want to move our needle. So how can I move my needle? I can't see it. I have blind spots. How can I move my needle? Well, the other slide said have rich feedback loops and surround yourself with people who are where you want to be. Cool. Now they here. Now what? Hey, give me some feedback. That shit's trash. Man, fuck you. You a hater. Good luck. Good luck. Have a nice life. Now you just tarnished your feedback loops because now you only want people around you that's going to coddle you and pat you on the back and tell you how raw and dope you are. Now you're going to create defensive thinking because defensive thinking creates defensive thinking. And you cut your feedback loops, you shrunk your spectrum, and you're in the same place you were 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, same place. Come on, blood. Like, the more somebody loves you, the more they are honest with you. And the more they're willing to bypass the initial, in the moment, happy and fun interaction with you to give you the truth so that you can grow. It takes courage to do that. We were just having a good time. You ever heard that? Man, we were just having a good time. And now you hit me with this shit. I know I may potentially ruin our night. So this shit ain't easy. Rich feedback loops ain't easy because guess what? We got very limited time sometimes to kick it and have fun and chill and do whatever. And now we on off time and somebody wants to call and get some feedback. And we were just laughing and talking 2 seconds ago. It takes courage for me. It takes courage for anybody who have ever said, yeah, that was a funny ass joke. Oh, you want to know the truth about this? Okay, so here it is. That takes courage. You know why they doing it? Because they love your ass. I love you so much that I'm willing to risk the momentary relationship, maybe even our friendship, forever to give you this nugget of truth. Because I know how sensitive you are. But I love you so much, I'm going to give it to you. When you in this game of being candid, occasionally you'll get people to come up to you. Let me back up a little bit. Most people don't know the court the super candid court, the pre-meditation yoga ayahuasca court. But there's a whole group of people who know a different court, brutally honest, lightweight, like autistic type, not give a fuck, lack of empathy court. And I thought I was doing it out of love. So occasionally I get people who come up to me and say, man, I remember you told me that my shit sucked and I never forgot it. I'm like, in my mind, damn, that was like 20 years ago. I don't even remember saying it. But it was the truth. And that made me better because I wanted to get back at you so much and prove that you were wrong that it made me get better. And now I'm damn, congratulations. That's amazing. I'm glad I can be the fucking hater you thought I was. Even though it wasn't hate, I was being honest. There's a big movie, I say medium-sized, not big, medium-sized movie producer right now that produces movies that you go see in the theater. And when I met him, he was doing music videos for one of my artists. And he would make his first run, did all kind of, no, that's not it. It's terrible. Bro, this is what you do? It's terrible. No, it's not. Yes, it is, bro. Argue back and forth. This ain't it. I didn't know, and I'm trying to give it to him honest as I can. I didn't know he held that. And now he's making movies you go to see in the theater. That's dope. You know how many stories that I have? That's dope. It's called candidacy. You know how many people who threw water in my face in certain moments? And when I call water, it's water of honesty. Psh. Why the fuck you do that? Because this is your honesty. This is the truth. Now, there are times where I distance myself from that person. There are times where I was angry at that person but fixed it. And there were times where I was grateful. But every one of those times they were being honest. When I look back and really do the mental math, it was love. They helped change my life. They protected me from going down the wrong path. I want you guys to flip the genome in your brain that says the more honest somebody is with me in this room, as a wolf, as an entrepreneur, the more honest somebody is with me, the happier I am with them. The more grateful I am with them, the more I appreciate them, and the more I want them in my circle. That's the new mantra. And the nicer people are to me, the more on the edge I will push them out. Because that don't serve me as an entrepreneur. So nice, hey, that's cool, but I'm going to push you on the outer edge of this inner circle. Because I need real. I need honest. I need candid. I need people to keep it 100. To the point to where I don't even want you to ask me, can I keep it 100 with you? That must mean that I want you to not at other times. Mm-hmm. If you have to ask me that, then there's a flaw in my character then. My partners don't do that to me. This is where you're wrong. This is where you mess up. This is what happens. This is what you did. This is what I think. This is what... We ain't got time to waste. You need that mic though, Kaja.
A two-part question. When you explain it, why are you making those things all individual? Like, why are you saying, if you're nice, I'll push you to the outskirts, as though you cannot be nice and give honest, valid feedback? Like, I don't necessarily think those things have to be mutually exclusive. The other thing is, do you agree that there's to some extent, a time and a place. Like if you said something here that wasn't correct, and I walk up in the middle of the production and go, oh no, Court, that was wrong. Let me give you a piece of feedback. Like, it's not the time for that. So sometimes, back when I wasn't healed from taking feedback, sometimes people just don't know how to read the room of, this is a good time to throw that high joke on the table, and let me hold it for another hour until we get out of this situation. So sometimes the way you finesse the conversation makes all the difference in it landing or potentially not landing.
First of all, welcome back, Kaja. We missed you. Always love your questions. Your questions are so real and relatable. First part of it is basically, what is the difference between being nice and being honest, right? It's a generalization. Generalization means in general. In general, when you are nice, honesty and dishonesty can be interchangeable depending on the room, depending on the situation or how you feel, or whether or not you want to ruffle feathers or you want to hurt somebody's feelings. Nice is, and are there times where you can be nice? Absolutely. I'm talking entrepreneurship. I'm talking you specifically. If my 6-year-old daughter says, Daddy, I drew this picture, what do you think? And it doesn't look like what I think is super dope and artistic, I'm going to say, that's nice, that's dope, that's good for where you are. Right? But we don't, as entrepreneurs, nice is useless to us. When is there any time on our path as an entrepreneur that somebody being nice to us is valuable? None. So that's why I'm saying, as wolves, we don't need nice. We push that on the outskirts. Now, if you are super depressed and on the verge of like some super dark shit on suicide, then maybe. Oh, no, don't do that. The world needs you. Come on. You're a king. You're a queen. You're a black queen. Once I scoot you all the way into like, now you back with us and you're good, we gonna cut that shit out. But rarely ever is there a time for entrepreneurs where nice is valuable to us. It's misleading and it's harmful. Now, there are times where you can be nice to others, reading the room. I'm talking about the input, not output. Because, and the second question is second statement is what you're also referring to is not necessarily being nice. It's being able to read the room and know how to maneuver through conversations to get to the end goal. But being nice, there's a difference between being nice and being kind. Major difference. So if somebody is eating bad and their health is going down the drain, and they say, well, how do I look? And you're like, oh, you look fabulous. Mm-hmm. Well, you look fabulous. No, girl, don't let nobody tell you. No, you're fabulous. You eat what you want. You can do what you want. Whatever makes you feel good, you're being nice. Because if the doctor says you have high blood pressure and cholesterol and you're right on the edge of diabetes, that's real. They can say it in a kind way. They can say it with honor and dignity, but they're giving you the real. So then what tends to happen is that you get to an end of life situation and everybody's been nice this whole time and now they're devastated. When nobody was kind enough and loving enough to keep it 100. Be honest. I love you. I love you. You can hate me, but I love you, so I'm going to tell you the real every time. Because I need you around. I need you around. You could cuss me out, say fuck Courtney, whatever, but you'll still be here. Man, give me that salad, man. I ain't doing it. Let me get a membership. He don't know what he talking about. You can cuss me out to the gym all you want. You can cuss me out to that salad all you want. Because I love you. If I didn't, that's when you know you don't give a shit. How you look? Fine. You look great. Shit, I don't know. You like it, I love it. That's a statement. You like it, I love it. That's the complete opposite. That makes sense? Don't lie to me. Give me that real. Have you ever walked to a place, walked through a whole place, been there 15, 20 minutes? You've been talking to people, hanging out, laughing, flirting with people, and everything. And a person who really fucks with you come back and be like, hey, come here, you got a booger on your nose. And you like, what the I've been doing this the whole time, and ain't nobody told. I even flirted with oh, shit. That's the equivalent. That's the equivalent.
Just wanted to ask a question for clarity. So is this advice for your internal entrepreneur circle, or is this the advice that should be pertaining to everybody? Like, would I want to be candid to my customers the way I would be to an entrepreneur? Because I feel like we're a little more straightforward, where I feel like I have to do a little more emotional coddling to protect my bottom line and make my customer feel comfortable.
So, first thing, this is primarily internal. Primarily internal. But if you move in a way that you can prime your customers to where if they come to you, they know that you're going to give them the real because you love them, they're going to appreciate you more than they do other people. Mm-hmm. So in your gym situation, if you frame your business and anchor your business in a way to say, every customer, girl, you look good, just keep coming back. Girl, you look good, just keep coming. You look amazing, keep coming back. Over time, that shit get old, and they'll see through it. Versus learning how to maneuver your words in a way that you can still deliver honesty to them, but in such a loving way that they appreciate you for it. Because they'll end up being the ones that say, man, I've been to 3 other places and they told me that I was fine. And knowing I wasn't fine, and you gave me the real, and that's why I'm coming to you. I don't play. How we get business sometimes, when I used to work at gyms and try to solicit team uniform clients, and I set up a table at a booth. I'm sitting there, and I see a coach. Come here. What's up? Why you let them kids look like that? Come on, bud. Why you let them kids run around looking like that? And you know what? Sometimes they do. I know, man. I know. Man, if you don't get over, we gonna take care of you. I got you. Here, take my number. This is my personal cell. Call me, because we'll get you fixed up. Because how you gonna expect other teams to respect you and parents to respect you if you went cheap on your uniforms like that? You right, man. I got you. Okay, all right. Like when you start playing on the side of honesty, and you know how to maneuver your words on the side of honesty, it levels you up. It levels you up. And the last thing, some of us know this. Back in the dating scene where you dating, I'm gonna choose my words carefully. The women, you'll be surprised how women will treat you if you're honest to them up front. If you being nice and being sneaky and doing this and that, then you get caught and you're like, oh, then it's way more devastating than when you have a conversation up front and say, hey, this is the way I am, this is the way it is, and this is this is what to expect out of this relationship. They'll either say, I can respect your honesty, I fuck with that. Or thank you, but no thank you, but I appreciate you telling me. But 8 times out of 10, it was always cool because I ain't never been around nobody who's this honest. So that's a superpower.
True.
If you're not afraid to use it. Go ahead, Ace.
Can I just real quick? Before we move on to that question she asked was critical. You want your internal team to be extremely candid. A candid team is a very innovative team. If your team stops being candid, you have a virus in your group. So your staff that you work with, so when you talk with each other, if you cannot be candid, that means you start subsidizing weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker performances till you destroy your team. And you won't be able to compete with competition. So your internal staff, everybody, including your staff, has to be able to be candid with you as well as you're candid with them. Mashama has to be able to tell me none of that sucks and not have to worry about is the right time or did he say in the right tone of voice? None of this shit sucks, right? And I can't have a wall that's analyzing, did he say it right? Did he time it right? How do I feel? I have to see the value of him being honest with me and take advantage of that opportunity because it's really an opportunity, right? So if you notice your staff, everybody in your staff is being nice to each other, you got a problem. You got a virus.
Yeah, I was actually going to say similar to the same thing that I interpret this as being more for us, not for how we talk to other people. Like, yes, it's beneficial to be candid with the people around you, but I think that since as an entrepreneur, you're learning how to be a better individual. It's about how you allow people the space to be candid with you, how you allow people to level you up, because you can be honest and transparent to everybody around you and still not be able to interpret or take in feedback. You know, you can be just as raw and uncut as you want to be and still be a trash entrepreneur because nobody could tell you nothing. So I think the primary value in this for us in the room is to actually allow this to happen to you. And yes, by default, we'll get that right back out in creating that environment. But really it's about learning to accept the candidacy, is learning to intake the truth for yourself so you don't be stuck in the same position.
Well said. Well said. It's a highway. It's a two-way highway. And Nana said it well, is this is internally for you. Your team, your group, the people you're around, in your intake. You want people in your inner circle, real, raw, uncut, honest. Scoot the people who are nice, fake, on the outskirts of your circle. You want real, cut, uncut, honest. Next slide.
Integrity.
There you go. Let's rock and roll.
I commit to the masterful practice of integrity, including acknowledging all authentic feelings, expressing the unarguable truth, keeping my agreements, and taking 100% responsibility.
Okay. Now I'm gonna pass around a prick, and we're gonna prick our blood on our fingers and baptize ourselves into the blood of the Lamb on this statement.
What kind of pagan Christian is happening in here?
So I don't want to. No. I don't want Josh to call any of his people on me. Integrity is the key. So a lot of this doesn't move without integrity. Doesn't move without integrity, because if I can't respect the fact that you are who you say you are and you're gonna do what you say you're gonna do, then none of it moves. Doesn't matter. So the art and the job is to What can I do every day to make sure I'm keeping my agreements? And what can I do to take 100% responsibility? Yes, 100. What can I learn from it? What can I do better? How can I have affected it? How can I have pushed this? What can my inputs have done to change the dynamic? Who cares who's right and wrong in this anymore in this situation? As an entrepreneur, as a you, can you think about what happens when you just don't do those two things? From now on, you got a full highway coming in of raw, honest, 100% truthful, candid feedback. And you take 100% responsibility for it? Shit. That's a new person. That's a new person. Hey, you know what? Let me talk to you. You got 5 minutes? I really don't appreciate what you did. You know, you brought me free food that I didn't ask for, and it had gluten in it, and you know I'm gluten free. So I don't appreciate that. Were you trying to play a joke on me or something? What does integrity and 100% responsibility do? Man, you're a whole different person. The way you receive it, everything. These two keys are everything, how you move forward. These two keys. Let's keep going.
Integrity is the practice of keeping agreements, taking responsibility, revealing authentic feelings, and expressing unarguable truths. It is essential to thriving leaders and organizations. Conscious leaders are impeccable with their agreements.
Everything.
They make clear agreements, keep them, renegotiate them when needed, and clean them up when broken. Integrity is fundamental to conscious leadership and successful, thriving organizations.
Come on, man.
Anything other than that, you have an integrity breach. You have a leak in your boat. You have a leak in your boat. You have an integrity breach, and the alarm should be going off. Recently in my company, we had an integrity breach. And integrity breaches, they have drift associated with them. Because when you have large amount of employees, then they feed off of each other. And they're like, oh shit, you could do that? Well, then I could do that too. Oh, you did that? You got away with that? Well, I can get away with that too. And over time, you can have this massive breach that starts with integrity. So things have to be reset from being impeccable with your word, with your time, and with your agreements. You don't get to make the call. You don't get to make a new judgment call when you promise somebody something specifically, because it wasn't that important. You don't get to make that call. What you get to do is show up. And if you don't, or if you messed up, you figure out when you messed up and you call back and you apologize, you fix it. Hey, I'm sorry. I completely didn't see that, or I made this mistake. My apologies. So that you are aware and that other person is aware that there is a breach in your integrity. That's why I say it goes back to honesty. If you move and you always lying, this slide right here should make your nose start growing. Because how can you even practice any of this if you're terrible at being candid? A lot of times that also comes from fear. We want to be liked so bad. We want to fit in so bad, and that's also part of our nature as herd animals, to fit in. So that's also part of who we are. It's part of our nature. So there's a slight moment in time where you want to just say the thing that makes them feel good. And over time, you learn how to resist that because you love that person. But integrity is the integral part of that whole experience, is having integrity. I won't be able to sleep if I steered you wrong. There's certain things, I won't teach because I don't know it like that. There's been times where people ask me questions from the crowd and I say, you know what? I don't have the authority or experience to answer that. And I would hate to steer you down the wrong path because I don't know it. Saying I don't know is integrity. You know that one person, John Smith? You know what fear would do? Because you want to stay in rapport with a person. A lot of times, a person with high fear will be like, yep, I made that name up. Just to see if you would bullshit me or not. You know what's funny? When people do shit like that to me, the rhythm of that is so strong that even when I say, I don't know that person, they'll keep talking like I do. You know that person, Monica Williams? No, who's Monica Williams? So she did this and this. I'm like, yo, never mind, keep going. But at least I feel good because I told you I don't know.
Yeah, I see what you
I have a question. Real scenario. A few days ago, I'm in a conversation, and someone tells me they're gearing up to do focus groups. All sorts of leaks with focus groups. But there's a lot of commitment to pursuing this path. And there's a lot of confirmation bias. Yes, you like it, I like it, we doing it, this is great. And so in integrity, because I understand that on the other side of that, you're going to get something that's vanity, but you're not going to be able to do anything with that. That's the truth. I'm giving that to you. And so as I keep thinking through it, like, as that continues to happen and I continue to be in integrity because your outcome, which is your outcome is this, and that's not going to be that. So in integrity, when you share that with me, I'm going to give back to you. That may not be the best way to approach the outcome, but there's already commitment to it, and now you are you are a bit of an irritant to what everybody else has already gotten on board to. That's not really that's not a total big concern. So what I said to myself is, how many more times will you be this person? Let's say this happens a couple times, because you do it again and you do it again. Am I willing to be like, if these are the kinds of things that you want to do, then this is not a good professional relationship for us, because it's really weird for me to stand back and watch you just fuck it off. Like it doesn't, So, but the other part of me is, well, fuck it. If you like it, I love it. Go ahead, as long as I keep getting paid. But that feels like dirty money to me.
You said it. So this is the thing.
I don't want to be a part.
Okay, here's the
But
thing.
that's what it's telling you. You shouldn't be a part of it.
Okay. I just wanted to.
Here's the thing. This slide right here, what's the top say?
Yeah.
What's that word?
Integrity.
Can't nobody, no amount of money, no situation make me bury that. So if my job is to be an expert, like your job is to be an expert in a situation, and you like it, I love it, but they're paying you to be the best version of you that you can be. So you got two choices. You got options. Be the person to say, hey, I know everybody agrees. However, this is my take on it. And you can, there's dope negotiation books that can help you word that. To say, I'm going to be the asshole again, but let me just throw some stuff in. I know everybody's already on board and in the car on the way down the road, but I want to say this. So now, guess what's going to happen? 2 months from now, when the feedback from that stuff comes back and it was trash. Who's that one comedian? He trash.
Oh,
He talks about sports a lot.
Bubba.
Yeah, he hella funny.
He's hilarious.
And it comes back trash. They're gonna be like, Shabisha did say that. And then again, Shabisha did say that. And then again, next thing you know, they're gonna be coming to you. Now you're gonna be an irritant. You're gonna be an irritant. You're gonna be a hater. You're gonna be a kiss up. You're gonna be all those things. So what? The bosses, the people who are looking, they appreciate that, because when there's a situation, they're gonna come to you. Hey, this is what we're thinking about doing. What do you think, Shabisha? Other option is that ain't the place for you. Get up out of there, because you want to always be in high integrity. You want to always be in high integrity, and that's what optionality, redundancy, and runway does for you. Is you're looking for ways to put yourself in positions to where you're the best fit and you're valued for that. Because now what you're doing is they trained the integrity and the candidacy out of you. They beat it out of you.
Now you're going down. The company that went down for finance.
Yeah.
Enron.
Enron. You become Enron.
Yeah. Next slide.
Appreciation. Committing to appreciation, along with avoiding entitlement, helps leaders and organizations grow value and connection in the workplace.
Okay. By the way, if you guys aren't, you guys should be pretty close to being done with this book if you haven't finished it already. So it's a really good book. It's a really good book. And so some of this I'm doubling back on certain things because either we cut it short before or it needs to get talked about. But appreciation is a commitment. Appreciation is a commitment, and we're going to talk through why. Keep going.
Appreciation is comprised of two parts: sensitive awareness and an increase in value. Entitlement arises when rewards and benefits become an expectation instead of a preference. Living in appreciation has two branches: being open to fully receiving appreciation and being able to fully give appreciation. For most, it is more difficult, and people are more afraid to receive appreciation than to give it. To avoid receiving appreciation, people strategically deflect it. Masterful appreciation is sincere, unarguable, specific, and succinct. Appreciation allows the unique gifts in the community to be recognized.
So this is an art that you have to practice within yourself at all times. No matter where you are in business and life and relationships, this is a life tool that you need. What typically ends up happening if you lack appreciation is you fall into a particular loop, and it's a destructive loop that can hurt you in the long run. And at the end of this path, you'll look around and you have nobody around you. And you won't even know how to appreciate the things that you have or don't have. There's no frame of reference for you as a human without appreciation. Next slide. This is going to explain why.
Remember the entitlement trap?
Okay, so starts with appreciation. Starts with appreciation. For your graduation, high school graduation, you've been walking all this time. And in comes your mom bought you a new car. What? A new car? I ain't got to drive. I ain't got to walk no more. I ain't got to catch the bus. I ain't got to wait for the bus. I ain't got to ride my bike no more. A new car. Oh my God, Mom, I'm so appreciative. Thank you. Hug, kisses, hug. It's a beautiful day. You mob around to your friend's house. You mob around this. You go to the store. Hey, you need something from the store, Mom? I got you. Now, is if you just go with the natural rhythms of life and how your brain naturally functions, this is not no out of space shit. This is how every human naturally functions, because there's a law in our brain called the law of familiarity. It's a law. It just happens. Over time, it turns into anticipation. You forget to appreciate it. You don't joy up when you get into the car no more. You don't feel them good feelings. You don't do backflips no more. It's not hella dope. It's just normal now. You anticipate it. It's just normal. It's cool. It's cool. And you when you look out your window, you anticipate that car to be out there. Your brain is on other stuff now, because now you may have gotten a job that requires a car. So now it's not about going to the store or doing fun things. You've just upgraded your lifestyle that includes that car. So now the car is not a nice to have, it's a must have now. So the appreciation is gone because now it's a part of the ecosystem of your life. Mm-hmm. So that quickly turns from anticipation to expectation. You expect that car to be out there. It got to be out there. And you used to catch the bus to work, and you have to leave an hour and a half early to get to the bus to get to work 10 minutes early. So now you wake up 15 minutes before time you got to be there, throw some clothes on and hop in the car because you know it's only going to take you 10 minutes to get there. So you've already changed your lifestyle around the necessity of that car. So now that car is expected. It's expected. So one day, your mom says, I need this car. I need the car because my car's in the shop. I need it to go do some stuff. Wait, that's my car. That's my car. But it's your day off, so I need it because my car's in the shop. But I had plans. That's my car. Who are you to try to take my car? That's not fair. You're infringing on my rights. The right to this car. I put gas in this car every day. No, that's not right. That's crazy. Over time, it turns from dependency. It goes from entitlement to dependency. And once it gets to the dependency, there's nothing anybody can do that's good enough for you. Nothing. And you just burnt your bridge. With that entitlement shit, you just burnt your last bridge. Burnt it. But if you got a black mama like ours, they'll bring your ass back to reality quick. The type of mama I had, if that was me, she'd take my keys and put it in the garbage disposal and turn that light on and watch that shit melt down the sink and say, fuck your car. Yep. My mama too. Figure it out. Figure it out. And then you'll jump right back to appreciation. Say I'm lying. My mom was no joke when it came to that. That's real quick. So that is a trap. It is a trap. It is a trap. It's the worst thing that you can do in life is to navigate through life losing the appreciation. Stay at one. Stay at one. Doesn't mean that you may not use it. It may not be a part of your life, or now it's in the rhythm of who you are. But if you're always practicing appreciation, then the person that you're engaged with or the things that you have, you're grateful for them. So grateful. Thank you. I appreciate this. If you're in a relationship with a person, your significant other, and you've slipped all the way down to dependency, you working them, they to the bone. They're burnt out. And you ain't showed them appreciation in years. You ain't thanked them for shit in years. And now you wonder why they got an attitude, or they're not giving you what they used to, or because you lost the ability to show appreciation. Hey, I just want to say I'm grateful for you. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm grateful to be here. Nobody owes you shit. Nobody owe you nothing. Nobody owe you nothing. If somebody extended a hand to reach out to give you anything to further you in life, how are you treating them now? Where are you at? Are you at entitlement? Are you at dependency? Or are you still at appreciation? What? Like, you can't entrepreneur like that. You cannot entrepreneur like that. Because you need people. It's the power of us and our relationships. And if we are constantly burning bridges through entitlement, then you wonder why nobody fuck with you. How come I ain't got no friend? How come I can't make no phone calls and somebody say, I'll be there, or I got you, what you need? How? Why? Because you hit expectation. I expect you to be here. It's your job to be here. No, it's not. It is not. So we never want to fall in the entitlement trap. And it's sometimes we get caught in the weeds, and it's hard. We get busy. We hustling. We scrambling. We trying to figure out. We don't know what the next is. We get hurt. Somebody hurts our feelings. They tell us some shit that we don't want to hear. And we can get caught in the entitlement trap. Mm-hmm. Next thing you know, we're blaming them. And somebody who put you on. What? It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. Next slide.
There's a question, can you have appreciation and standards and capital?
Can you give me more context of that? Can you explain that before I answer it?
Okay.
What does that mean? Next, are we good on this appreciation? I can't express this piece enough about appreciation. Every morning, you know how some people, they have little mantras, right? Or they have little routines in life. Every morning, think about what you're grateful for, who you're appreciative of. Go through a list when you wake up. What are all the things I'm grateful for? What am I appreciative of in this life? When was the last time, be honest, you said, man, I'm grateful to be alive today? Anybody? Today? Anybody have done that today? None of this moves without you being alive. I'm grateful for another breath. I get to do this again today. I'm super grateful. I woke up today. We got 2 arms, 2 legs. We can walk. We can move freely. Some of us get to do the things we want to do in life as a job. Some of us built businesses. I don't care how hard it is. That's incredible. Like, it's so much to be grateful for. A lot of good-looking people in this class. Y'all could have came out ugly as hell. I'm just keeping it real. You didn't do nothing for that. That was handed to you on a platter.
So the follow-up to the question was, is it always entitlement that leads to dependence on things? Instead, can that be a standard for yourself? So
No.
instead of feeling like you're entitled, can that be like, no, this is just my standard?
No. Now, you can be appreciative for what you have and seek more, but it's tough to be grateful and appreciative for what you have when you have a standard that's higher than it. The standard is here, and you are right here, and you're like, no, that's just my standard. Oh, like, you have to meet appreciation with your emotions. There's nothing wrong with wanting more and having goals and wanting more, but the art of the appreciation doesn't work if you're holding standards above the actual thing. See what I'm saying?
I actually have a question separate from that, because I'm feeling, one, because I'm recognizing that you're not leaving the topic. I'm picking that up. So my follow-up question is, yes, most mornings I am waking up intentionally being appreciative that I'm alive and of many other things. But I'm almost feeling like there's something surface about the way I'm engaging appreciation. Just because I'm thinking through as you're kind of pushing on it a little bit. And so one of the things that it says, like, appreciation is two parts, is sensitive awareness, and it's an increase in value. And so what does that mean? Because my appreciation is just like gratitude practice, but I don't know if that's exactly what this concept is. So what else is, how else can I be engaging appreciation?
Well, appreciation is two parts, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's sensitive awareness.
Mm-hmm.
That's big.
Sensitive awareness.
That's really big.
So that's being acutely sensitive to the things around you.
Mm-hmm.
That's harder than you realize.
Mm-hmm.
It's being acutely sensitive to the things around you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's in the second part is it's an increase in value. So if you can generate an acute sensitivity to the things around you that you have no control for, life is like, oh, this is dope. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Why is the sky so blue today? You see that bird? That's a beautiful bird. Look at this leaf. If you see all the all the work that this leaf had to do to be alive, to create this orange that I just eat in 5 minutes? It's amazing. Like, your world changes.
Got it.
So imagine how you interact with another person or a person who engages and loves you and does things for you and puts you on or shows you something that took them 7 years to find out. They gave it to you for 5 minutes for free and you forgot it leveled you up. And 5 years from now, you don't even like that person no more. Because you're a dependency. I've seen that so many times. And he pulled me off the street. I didn't have nothing. I was homeless. I didn't have nothing. Where are y'all today? I don't fuck with him no more.
Got it.
What? Because you move from listen, there was a time I was straight homeless. EBT, no car, walking. Right? If somebody, in those times of acute sensitivity, if somebody dropped me off something and gave me something, once I tapped into appreciation, I'd start crying almost. You gave me something? You gave me? Man, who you want me to kill for you?
Why? Why is he like that?
I don't know.
I'm indebted to you forever. Like, it's on the level like that.
Why is he like that?
As you do better in life and things start growing, all that starts going like this. Right? You balling now, you doing big things, that thing is way down here. Where is that person at in your life?
Oh my God, dude, why are you like this?
Think of, like, And think about it in other ways. Like there's somebody you dogging out right now that if you really thought about it, you should be showing tremendous amount of appreciation for. Let's keep, I'm gonna do one more slide. Because this one is important, and then we can go. Yep.
My takeaway from this class is that the stuff that we were using for a lot of our external practices for the outside world, we're now like inverting it and flipping it and working on internal practices. Is kind of what I'm feeling from today's class. So in the entitlement loop in the previous class, we were talking about how to intentionally create that for our market so that we could create a customer base that like we could understand like how to engage our product in the market. And in my understanding of this, you're saying increase your awareness because you want to stay in the top of this and not put yourself through that loop, but we want to intentionally create that for the outside world. Am I getting that right?
This also affects how you treat your customers. So yes, this is internal. This is internal. I had a meeting today with one of my staff. One of my employees was like, we just need to learn to start saying no to some of these customers. Wait, what? We super busy. We got a lot of customers. So, we gotta learn something. Well, why? Well, where's the no coming from? Why? Well, just because some of these, we just too busy. Bro, you tripping. You tripping. We didn't went all the way down to the end of that slide. We are all the way down there. We need to work our way back to the front to say, we have customers. Oh man, I'm so juiced. We got customers. Thank you. You know how hard it is? You know what the CAC is, the customer acquisition cost is to get a customer? And we got them. We got a lot of them. Thank you, customer. I'm so glad you chose Court Smith. How can I make this experience so amazing for you where you come back and you come back and you come back again? I don't ever want you feeling that. Ever. Let's hit this last slide.
Exploring the opposite. I commit to seeing that the opposite of my story is as true or truer than my version of the story.
Get off your story. Get off your story. Stop leaning on your story. Stop attaching hell of emotions to your story. So the reason why the feedback loops, none of these slides can be broken and separated. The reason why we have a tough time listening to candid feedback and being honest is we hold on to these stories. So when we do ask for feedback, what I'm asking you is saying, hey, Nana, I have this story in my head. Can you validate my story for me? Just just tell me that I was right in what I was thinking. And Nana says, man, fuck that story. That story trash. And here's a whole version of it that you ain't thought of yet. That's going to hurt your feelings. And I'm saying, hey, Yabasua, I'm going to give you my story. Can you do that for me? No, tripping. Okay, Pastor Chris, and you'll go from person to person looking for a story validator versus feedback. And that's how we end up in the same spot. Trash. Trash. Understand. Your story, if you imagine a multi-dimensional cube that has 168 different faces on it, and your story is just one face. That's it. And there's better ones, there's worse ones, there's similar ones, but you just got one story, and you gotta let the story go and look for the one that's opposite. This is where we're gonna start next week. I just want to tap it because it's gonna take us a little while to dissect. All right? Okay.
All right. That was tight. That was tight. Hey, go back some slides. I know I usually have to go into my own stuff, but I held back saying a lot of stuff because I read the slides in advance, and I want him to get through as many as possible because this is some fire stuff. Go back one more. I'm gonna say something that's very, very Nana. Most people don't have integrity. It's not. It's very. Most people just don't have integrity. You say, what do you mean? A lot of people. Well, let's say in Oakland. I don't know. I ain't gonna speak for everyone, but in Oakland, in the business community, integrity is really low. In business community, a lot of people don't keep agreements. They don't take radical responsibility. They will never express their authentic feelings because of social justice. And they don't even know what unarguable truth is, even how they even exist. Now I'm gonna say something that's so, I would never say this in any other case. If you're not intelligent, handicapped, one leg, and kind of unattractive, if you have this, you still make a lot of money in your life. This is more important than education. I'm gonna say this one more time. This is more important than education. A human being that's reliable and is responsible will gain more opportunities than somebody who read every book in the whole. I know some people right now who's 10 times more intelligent than I am and they can't get no money in their pocket. They got more lint in their pocket than money. And the reason for that is because they don't have integrity. Integrity is one of the highest standards. Many of us in this room, and many of us online right now are suffering. You're suffering because you lack integrity. Not because you're not intelligent, not because you're black, not because you're a woman, not because you're LGBTQ+, not because you're hella short and you can't dunk. The bottom line is that you just don't have integrity. So this is one of the most powerful points that if you want to practice anything, like if you just go look at your life and go, damn, if I give my word to always lock down, say even if you don't want to be there, and you think you found out like the day before you're supposed to arrive, it's the dumbest place in the world for you to be. But you said, well, I gave my word, I still got to go. Do you move in that space? If you can't move in that space, honestly, it's not the outside world, it's your lack of integrity. If you don't take 100% responsibility for things that happen in your life, and you're to blaming and fault and fairness are areas that are anti-integrity. Now, let me say this also too. Integrity is hard to have if you're a scarcity mindset. Because you know why? Because it feels too risky. Like you're just trying to get a lick. You're trying to make some money. You don't care about who's going to pay you, right? So because you're trying to move with that kind of, I'm just trying to get paid, your ability to say, I don't care what the situation is, I gave my word. Or you won't jump at opportunities. You say, I committed to this opportunity. If I want to change, I have to go through the process of change. I don't get to just say, I told Court, hey, Court, I want to learn from you. And then he say, I see you on Monday. And then say, Adidas call you and say, yo, I'm gonna offer you a position. And you don't even show up. You just run to Adidas because you're like, I saw a chance to get some money, right? And you see this in Oakland all the time. Mm-hmm. I promise you, reliability, responsibility, keeping your agreements, being authentic to feelings. And what I mean authentic is, in the famous words of "fuck your feelings," I'm not talking about all your goddamn feelings, right? Like some of us are so inward that we just over feeling, right? This morning I got up, I did not feel like going to the gym. I didn't feel like getting out of my bed. I didn't feel like none of the meetings I had to have. I didn't feel like getting dressed and taking a shower before I came here, and I did all that shit. Fuck my feelings, right? So your feelings is not a justifiable argument of how you move through life, because we always have these feelings where today I feel like this, tomorrow I feel like that, right? It's hard to say that I can maintain a consistent any kind of feeling for my whole life. It's hard. So you got to put feelings in context. But what I'm saying about being authentic to your feelings is, say you're sitting in a situation, and that's going back to the candid concept. You see something that's going crazy. You see something that's a bad direction or lack of integrity, and you won't speak up, even though you feel the situation was going on, right? Or you're trying to protect their feelings, right? Because you don't want to hurt them. You don't want to make them mad. So you kind of like reframe and you don't say certain things, right? You got to have, I promise you, this shit integrity is like, and you know what's so funny? When I first became an entrepreneur, I'm talking about when I first started trying to become an entrepreneur, you know what all the older men used to tell me who are passed away now? Is the most important thing they would tell me is if you shake a hand, keep your word. The first lesson and the main lesson they always taught me was integrity. Go to the next slide. I have some things to say. I'm gonna move quickly. Okay, take the next slide. What's that? Appreciation. Go to the next slide because it kind of illustrates that. Let me show you something about business. I'm gonna make this more of a business argument. Although this level of sensitivity is critical. Young people by default don't have this. A lot of young people, the world sucks. Yeah, you don't have no appreciation, bro. You're in entitlement space and dependency space, right? Most higher level thinkers move in the appreciation space. Like if you look at the highest level thinkers, when you say hi to me, I realize you didn't have to say hi to me. I appreciate that. And when you really can move like that, you got to stay conscious of appreciation, not just use it as a mantra. You can say, I appreciate, you have to move in appreciation. So for example, my mentor who mentored me, right? I created a line of rules and values that he has access to that he doesn't even know he has access to. If he calls me tomorrow, no, I need you to be here tomorrow. I need you to help me out with some stuff like this. And my daughter is graduating from preschool, or kindergarten. This should be killing me, right? I'm gonna tell my wife, record it for me. She'll look at me like, what? Because my appreciation says, this man saved me so I can be here today. So I have special rules. Now, he doesn't take advantage of those because that's not how he moves. But there's people in my life that showed up for me in ways that I create special rules for them. So like, when I start to say, I really appreciate you, you get a whole bunch of, what's those, mulligans. Right? You get like person I don't appreciate, you don't give me any mulligans. Like, just watch your shit. But if I learn to appreciate you, I'll give you like sometimes like 30, 40 mulligans. Because what I'm saying to you is that, hey, I mean, in a sense, what I mean by mulligans is that, you know, when you're playing golf and you try to hit the ball and you miss, you get a chance to hit it again. You know, because it's like, okay, all right, you're not that good. Okay. If I play golf, I just play mulligan. I don't play golf. So, because I'm going to keep tapping the ball for the full distance. I can't even hit it far. Anyway, point is this. But it's so okay, then this is why most powerful people don't give money to poor people. Because it goes from appreciation quickly to dependency, envy, and murder. I'm not even exaggerating that point. Like you think, like you might say, well, I wouldn't do that. No, he's not giving to just you. He's giving to the public. And if he says, because what happens, you receive the money and then you anticipate, well, damn, they gave us this. What else can they give us? See what happened? Anticipation, right? So then if he gives you, somehow he goes, okay, fuck it, I'll give you another 10%. Now you expect him like, well, next time we have this problem, we need to just call him because we have this problem. You start to think that every time you have a problem because he got money, you expect him to, you see what happened? You got money, so I expect you to. You got money, so I expect you. You see where I'm going with that? Now you start to feel entitled. And now you start saying, why don't basketball players help black people? See it? I want you guys to see, this is some cold shit. He was like, this is how you destroy all your valuable assets. Okay, the most valuable people in your life shouldn't give you resources. They should give you insights. I'm saying this again. The most valuable people in your life don't need to give you resources because there's plenty of resources out here. They need to give you insights. If you need them to give you resources, you're telling them that they're the only source and this world out there don't exist. See what your brain just did? Ain't that shit cold? So I need your insights. How did you manifest money from nothing? Tell me that, right? That's the value of them. But you pushed them away with expectations, entitlement, and dependency. Hey, I need to talk to you. I know I talked to you last week. I want to run something else by you every motherfucking week. Do you know I'm busy? Did you know that? Do you know I got a family? Do you know I got responsibilities of my own motherfucking own? Man, I'm going through some. Can I talk to you about some shit? Because you in entitlement and dependency. No, I called you last week. Damn, what's going on? I thought we cool. Y'all, I promise you this shit is such a common thing. You live in the city of Oakland. I told my staff, so this is staff. Let's talk business and staff. We had an entitlement problem. I'm so good. You know, I could design. I could take a picture. I could do some video like no other person. And I look at these motherfuckers like, who in the fuck do y'all think y'all are? Where's the humility? And then they start talking to customers with that. And okay, I'll call you back next week when I get through with the edits. Next motherfucking week with no words? When you first started, it was like, hey man, I'm still working on your pictures. I just dropped my BMW off at the shop. Them motherfuckers, not only did they text me every day, them motherfuckers sent me a video explaining to me what they're doing on my car and walking through my car. And they say, by the way, your car is in excellent condition. We did a full expectation. We looked at this piece. In video, I'm watching this mechanic talk to me. Type your shit at Honda, you better come back and get your Honda shit when it's time up. Like, they get it, right? So my team was suffering from entitlement, right? And I said to them, listen, guys, this is one of the recent things. I can go down my list of entitlements. And Mashama even started saying, damn, we're moving in entitled space. But here's some recently, by the way, shout out to Tennille. I usually fuss about her sometimes in class. Sometimes I cap on her, but I don't do too much because she's really funny. And I don't need that heat. And third thing is that, but this time I want to give her all of her shout out and respect. So I had a meeting on Monday and I was like, hey, listen, guys, I want to get rid of that Oakland shit out of our office. And they looked at me like, what? I said, that Oakland shit. You know the kind of shit when you can walk over trash every day and go into your clean-ass apartment. That's entitlement, y'all. I said, whether it's something outside or on a table, on a desk, we should move with the idea of looking for something we can straighten up or clean up or put back. We should not, and I said, and this block here, this is our block. So that means if we see trash, we ordered some garbage things to pick up the garbage. Go outside and pick up some fucking garbage. Because even though there's in the Jack London Square, they have guys who walk around picking up garbage. How do we set the standard and send a message that we're not playing that shit and raise ourselves to a higher standard? I go to Walnut Creek, motherfuckers, you can't even park in front of your partner's house when you go see them because they have a rule that says if you don't have a permit, you are not allowed, even if you come to visit, you cannot park on the street without getting permission from the block. Mm-hmm. That shit is no joke. And the streets is clean. Hey man, these streets are all gray. One gray, not gray, black, gray, purple, gray, crack, black, gray, you know what I'm saying? Streets are gray. Why are they gray? Because they have ownership and appreciation for the space. But many of us live on blocks right now because we're renting. We don't appreciate the block. You don't appreciate the roads you drive on. I don't understand. I got to pay taxes. Appreciate the shit. It'll make it feel better. Like, you got to, the level of sensitivity, how you have to move and be like, that's a value, that's a value, that's a value. But here's a thing that destroys a lot of this shit too. When you're so self-focused, you will drop the ball even though you don't intentionally mean to drop the ball. You're so focused on yourself, you just kind of expect that to show up because you're not thinking about that kind of shit. You're going to have to take your focus from being inward to going outward. You get more from serving than you do from being served. That's like giving versus taking. Remember we had talked about that last year? Givers versus takers? Takers can't do that shit well. They're dependent real quick. They get to entitlement dependency real quick. Givers, it helps a lot. It doesn't mean it's just guaranteed, but it helps a lot. So that level of sensitivity, walking around realizing, like, every time like Alameda College is supporting this program. When Stephanie calls me about something, she calls me like, Nana, I don't want to make you upset. I was just wondering if we can change this. Stephanie, I don't give a shit what you want to change. I appreciate what y'all doing for me. If you want to charge me more, if you want to change some shit, let's do it. She'll never get no like, well, why you want to change it? What we gonna change it to? Well, I've been here for so long. No, whatever you want, sweetheart. Nana, can you help me with a website? Yes. And trust me, sometimes Stephanie can ask for websites that don't make no sense. But she get the mulligans. All right, Stephanie, what you need, bro? What you need? I got you. Because I know the value of this space. I know the value that you guys can park your car in a safe space because this institution, because of a black woman, is actually the liaison to protect this program being here. Do you understand that if I could baptize her firstborn and I knew what the fuck to do, I'd do it? It'd be a mess, though. That child have instant trauma. Turn the microphone on, please.
Hey, real quick. So I had $1 sitting in my console of my car. It's been sitting there for a minute. I'm like, let me get this $1 out of my car because I don't want nobody looking in.
Yeah.
While I'm parked and break the window. So
yeah.
I pull up. It's a homeless dude. I'm like, I ain't done this in a while. So I grab the $1 and I give it to him. He say, you got a cigarette? I'm like, give me my $1 back. He didn't even go to appreciation. He skipped straight to dependency.
Mm-hmm. That y'all be surprised how crazy that shit is. I was in a meeting today, and we're all presenting our product to Emeryville for some partnerships. And the first person presents, and while the person's in Q&A, the lady says, can I ask the person who's presenting, can I ask you a question? Will I have time to present my stuff? Because I'm going to have to leave. I have a hard stop in 45 minutes.
Oh, my God.
And this is why, and then she goes into why she wants Emeryville to partner. Bitch, excuse me, lady, you tripping. You got this game fucked up. Did you just dismiss? Like, be patient. Show some appreciation. Like, bruh. I sat there and I was like, did she just cut dude off? I need to go next. I got things to do. In a big there's multiple organizations sitting here, and I'm like, oh, come on, lady. What's wrong with you? If you're in appreciation mode, you're like, yo, thanks for letting me be here. I know my time is short. I didn't know he's gonna go this long, but I just want to say, in the 15 minutes I was here, I want to express this. You don't realize when you went from appreciation to entitlement, that's what she went from, appreciation to entitlement. She already ruined that relationship because now she created this discomfort. And remember, when the first meeting is all about just what you feel. You don't have enough facts. Everybody can state facts, but no one really knows if you really own those facts. So really, we're just going off of feelings. And so in that first space, do you move in appreciation, even to be in that space? Like so I sat through the whole meeting. They cut. So as soon as she finished speaking, she turned her Zoom off and was, I'm out. Right? Mm-hmm. And then all of her people they all turned off. Like as soon as she finished speaking, they was like, it's like, what, the whole team? Right? So then I'm watching that, like, she didn't just say, hey, listen, you stay online and just stay with him to show him that we're committed because we have what? Integrity. Instead, she's in survival mode. It's all about her, and all she can see is who? Herself. Ain't that cold? Go ahead.
Will we keep talking about this in the coming weeks, or is this my only time to talk about it?
We're going to keep talking.
Okay, great. Then
Okay, next slide. I know, I'm going to get to my slides. If you're pro-black, pro-Latino, pro-gay, pro-anything, explore the opposite side of that idea. That right there will help you break away from the polarity and the forces that surround us in society right now. This is one of the most powerful. Everything he's teaching now is like deep, great wisdom. This ain't like just tactics and strategy. These are models to live by. Like this is. Every story you tell yourself, explore the opposite. Every story. Men should be like this. Explore the opposite, because the opposite does exist. Women should be like this. Like for example, let's say I believe all women are queens and powerful leaders, and they should all be respected. I know the opposite. Y'all do too. So when I run across the opposite, I know how to show up to that space. As opposed to, why are you acting like this? You should be. Because what happens is that, am I listening to you? Which that means, okay, in order for me to listen, watch this, stay with me. In in order for you to listen, and I'm going kind of harsh on this, but I'm also showing that this shit goes way further, way deeper, and as you expand, this shit becomes really, like the more you scale, the more this shit's gonna become really real. I can't listen to my customers or my employees if my story is always true. You see the power of that shit? I can't even see what you're saying. I'm going to keep twisting what you're telling me because I'm trying to make you fit in my story. The more you can learn to see the opposite side of the story, the more you master listening. That's why people tell me, I listened to the students today. They told me this at the university. We listened to the students. And so then when everything she said after that showed me she did not listen to the students. And because the first question I asked, I said, well, if you listen to the students, did you decode their inference? She said, yes, and didn't decode shit. What do you mean decode the inference? Meaning that I know an activist right now, can't say their name. I'm gonna use the word they. That way you can't even try to do some investigations. And they hush. So they are the quickest to jump online in the most eloquent way to say that something is unfair. They're masters at it. Work with them for a week and you realize they're so poor in their performances. So they use the blame game to mask their underperformances, their weaknesses. It's like the person who's really weak in their performance focuses on what everybody else is doing wrong. Never turns that energy on themselves. So when you hear that person speak and they romance you with their eloquent words, you believe because you bought into the story, they're amazing people. Then you turn around and give them $100,000 of your money because they start a new business to only find out you should give that money to the preschoolers. They would do more with it. Y'all get it? Y'all dig it? Next slide. I know I'm all in this slide. I'm just Okay, he didn't get that. Okay, go on. Move on. Go on. Move to my slides. Okay. That was just my summary because I wanted to say a lot of stuff, but we would never got through it because I was like, I just had things to say. So I was like, okay, fuck, I just use my time then, shit. All right, she ready to roll?
Yeah.
All right, let's do this shit like the old school.
Fear holds us back from taking risks and reaching our potential.
Mm-hmm.
No one grows up saying, I want to do the same thing everyone else is doing.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, there is a comfort to surrounding yourself with people who agree with you or who are doing the same thing you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So while there is sometimes embedded wisdom in the crowd, mistaking the comfort of the collective for evidence that what you're doing is going to lead to better results is the social default's big lie.
With that comment you opened up earlier about a lot of bad entrepreneur programs, that's why they exist. It's a blind comfort of this is what everybody's doing, so I want to do the same thing, so I'm gonna do what everybody else is doing. Right? It's almost like a natural human flaw. And so a lot of these ideas don't reach a lot of these classes don't reach full potentials because once they're just really trying to stay within a lane that they see that works for other people. But let me say this other thing too. You know who don't dream big? Oppressed people. People who are descendants of oppressed people. You guys ever been around like white people who are high performers? Have you seen how they dream? They dream really freaking big. White people who are performing at high levels. They dream, at Google, I'm sure you've seen them, right? They dream big. They don't think about how do I get my life together? They like, how do I change the United States? How do I invent something that's going to change humanity forever? Anybody see the GPT? The new Chat GPT 4.0? That shit is like Star Trek. It literally talks to you in a regular voice like I'm talking to you right now as it works with you. It's designed to tell you, to be your children's, the future of GPT is going to be like, teachers are already under threat. It will literally sit with your child and work with them as a tutor and go through the process to help them get to an answer, but in a real tone and voice where you can interrupt them and debate with them and go back and forth in the conversation. It's the most craziest shit ever, right? One of the reasons I've noticed about one of the biggest contrasts between what we're producing as Black folks and Latino folks and and underperforming white folks and Asian folks, whatever folks who are living under this paradigm of the working class, is what's killing us is our fear holds us back from. It's like not only do we not dream, and we don't think big, but we almost have a fear of doing that. We really believe that if I think small, at least I can achieve it. You see where the fear exists? At least I can achieve it. So a lot of times I just want to get me out. I just want to be comfortable. I just want to have my own apartment, my own house. I just want to make $100,000 a year, $100 an hour. I just want to be able to feed my kids. I just want to keep my kids from going to jail. That's all I want. I just want to keep my kids out of jail. And then I could go to ZZ school and I listen to the parents of these kids. I'm trying to figure out how can we stop cancer? How can we change the climate change? How can we redesign the way that we move from point A to point B? How can we bring forth engineering in a way that the robots that we saw in these science fiction movies actually become a real thing? How can we get to a point that we change the condition of the air that removes certain diseases? And don't think these things are cheap, what I'm just suggesting, because a lot of companies start these ideas, get billions of dollars of investment, and they do work and sometimes don't work. It's not like these people are super smart, right? But they dream different. We dream of being a rapper. They dream of creating a new music industry. Like literally it's that much of a difference. Yeah. We dream about a club. They dream about running the whole entertainment system of California. Mm-hmm. You dream about a restaurant. They're talking about a national franchise. From day one. They're starting with the idea of this. I'm talking about the big thinkers. The big healthy thinkers, the people that you envy, the people that you admire, the people that you say you want to, they just dream bigger. Next slide. Because this is going to come up 360. I'm trying to get to inertia. So keep going. Go ahead.
Doing something different means you might underperform, but it also means you might change the game entirely.
So stay with me here. If you want to be an entrepreneur, remember we talked about positioning? You got to position your life to be different. You can't be like everybody else. If you decide you really want to do this, like if you don't want to do this and you just want to dib and dab, but you still want to be popular in the popular crowd, you got to understand that desire to be popular is opposite to being an entrepreneur. Unfortunately, you will become popular upon your success, but you know, like popular people knows everybody, they know them. I don't know everybody no more. I just don't. There's a whole generation of people I walk around, like they had a festival in Oakland tomorrow, I'd be like, who are these black people? Now, a lot of them may know me because they built a pipeline of business with me. Now, when I was popular in the streets and I was just running the streets and going to clubs, I probably knew like 20% of those people. So I probably couldn't get through. I would walk to the door, pay my money, and by the time I get to the back of the festivals where they have a concert, I probably spent 2 hours just in conversations from different people. That's some people I knew, right? Today, it would be like I have a paparazzi team, they just rush me through, but there's nobody with me because no one knows me. I can just walk straight on through, right? Now, people know me because of how I serve or what my businesses perform. But even in my business, I'm no longer the face of my business, right? I've been walking a different path from everybody else my whole life. Not my whole life, since my late 20s. In my youth, it wasn't different in no way whatsoever. When you decide you want to become an entrepreneur, you have to walk such a different path that sometimes the advice of the masses kind of irritates my ear because they're trying to get me to conform to the masses. You know what everybody else does, Donna? Why you don't do it like them? Mm-hmm. I don't even know how to process that. I don't even know how to reply to that because I'm not even within that system. So you got to know that once you decide you want to become an entrepreneur, you have positioned yourself to be eccentric, different than the norm. The more you strive towards the norm, it's a natural resistance towards your own growth. And your fear of walking away from the norm is stopping you from exploring the unknown. Because I said, your growth in your business is the unknown. Growth is not known, growth is the unknown. But the more you try to hold on to the normal, you are resisting the unknown. Go ahead and finish that one.
If you do what everyone else does, you'll get the same results that everyone else gets. Best practices aren't always the best. By definition, they're average.
So the quickest way to be average is do what everybody else does. If you guarantee you want to be average, like I want to have an average ass life, average ass pay, same ass problems, and then average relative to your group and your space. So, for example, if you live around, if your whole surrounding were billionaires or high performers, and you did what everybody else did, it might be in your favor, right? Because that's the average. What's the average of that? Okay, you only made $100 million in your life. Oh, but if you live you grew up in a poor community. So, for example, in Oakland, it's a poor community. The average of Oakland community means that you don't even have $1,000 if a crisis comes up tomorrow. That's average. Average means that a vacation means master accounting and budgeting. Doesn't mean impulsive, let's go. Average means you're at the club and you got enough for 1 or 2 drinks. After that, somebody needs to show up and hook me up a little with something. Average means every time you go to a club, you try and say you can get in for free. Right? I'm keeping that's how my average life was. Right? Average means fancy hotels is seasonal. If they have a discount this year, we ain't going to that hotel. Average means rental car is Honda, Toyota, Kia, and any other words that sound like it's Japanese. Right? I'm just keeping the shit where the average really is. Average is going to the grocery store and every 4 minutes going, damn. I mean, that's the life you want. That's cool. Average is my kids got to go to school. Now, what public school is the best? Average is discounted summer programs. Mom, I'm tired of going to the same program for 9 years. It's cheap, boy. Get your ass back in the program. Hey, that's my life. I don't know about y'all. That was my life. I'm talking, whether you know it or not, I'm echoing my life. And when I came out of the average space, my family still is average. And I still hear the same conversations when I hang out with them. And guess what I can't do when I'm hanging out with them? Talk about my life. Because if I talk about my life, it comes off as if I'm stunting, bragging, or dismissing their challenges. But that's the same family that teased me when I decided to be abnormal. I want you guys to see that connection there. So when I'm around them, I give them a sense of I'm just like y'all, but I'm not just like y'all. Because I'm not like y'all because the money in my pocket that's stupid and superficial, and hopefully your mind didn't reduce this conversation to that. I'm not like you because I have a set of values and ways I see the world that you don't see. And I move to a different rhythm. I have a different level of integrity. I have a different set of values. I have a different set of lenses that I'm seeing connections and patterns that in that room, there's no reason for anybody to ever see it. Remember, you can't see scaling unless somebody show you what scaling looks like. You just can't see it. Matter of fact, watch this. Another moment of disruption, another moment to disrupt your day. Intelligence in business only goes so far. Intelligence won't get you that far. Yep. Most of business at a certain point, majority of, not all of it, you got to be intelligent. That has to be part of your base. But you have to master the art of hypothesis. Do you realize how much educating guessing you're going to be doing? That means your intelligence you won't know where to go. You're going to have to guess, test, and discover where to go. Let me say this again. Guess, test, and discover where to go. So when you walk around like, oh, I know, follow me. I know, follow me. I'm a leader. Follow me. I know where we need to go. Follow me. I see it. Just get behind me. I got you here. I'm going to get you there. This is why you're dying. When the next level of your business, it's going to be something you can't even feel, see, or imagine. But when you finally see it, you're going to realize if you go to a party and share it with everybody else, it sounds like you're talking about ghosts. I saw a spirit. My auntie came to talk to me. She came from planet Nebula. That's what it's going to sound like. Because at the end of the day, once you start to transform by surrendering to this hypothesis game, the power of the team and the processes, it's going to take you outside of your stories, outside of your capabilities, outside of your limitations, because there's another life force form when individuals come together and work together as a team to produce solutions that's greater than you as an individual. I said that 1,000 times. So your intelligence only gets you so far. Me and Mashama have read all the motherfucking books in the world. Like, we read so goddamn much that our last name should be Reed, right? And yet when we're building out this office, we're arguing every day in the most productive, innovative way. I disagree. No, I disagree. Why would you say that? It doesn't make any sense, Mashama. Well, I don't think that. Well, let's look it up. Let's do this. And in the end, we're coming with these innovative solutions from our arguments that's beyond our discussion. And here's the thing. When we come with those solutions, they're just hypotheses. We know once we test them, like somebody come in the office and put it in front of us, be like, we got that one wrong, huh? Retreat, let's do it again. But we realize it's a process to get to where we're going. There's no, Mashama, I started Fight Team Media first. I'm the oldest. Listen to me. Or Mashama going, no, my vocabulary is bigger than yours. Just listen to me. It doesn't work that way for us. It has no value to the conversation. A person can come in a room that doesn't even have our intelligence and give us an insight that can change our hypothesis, that can lead us in even a better direction. So this is why, like, depending on this real rigid idea of knowing definition, like your knowledge means so much. Because I see people coming out of college. I have this degree, and I previously worked. I remember somebody told me the other day. This guy says, "No, I don't understand why you wouldn't hire me. I have all this previous experience." I said, "No offense, but I don't know what the fuck that means." And he said, "What do you mean you don't know what the fuck it means?" Because this thing, watch this. Business, all of us are in. Let's say everybody has the same business in this room, right? So if we're in competition, is it smart of us to do the same thing? Matter of fact, imagine if every NBA team played exactly the same. Boy, that'd be the longest game you've ever watched in your life, right? They have to have different approaches for, even though we all play in basketball, we all play differently to achieve our goals. That means if you come from the Chicago Bulls and I'm the Warriors, and you say, this is how I play with the Chicago Bulls, that means nothing to me. And if you keep that way, you'll destroy my team. So a lot of times, these arguments of experience is subjective. Depends on what you're talking about. I want you guys to see how this stuff is just not transferable. So you're like, I have so much knowledge in marketing. Yeah, that shit back there. Okay, do you understand how to integrate ChatGPT and this new way that this new generation is thinking, that's the major number one consumer, and how to show up to that and still be successful in this climate? Oh, you don't, huh? Oh, ain't that some shit? Ain't that some shit, huh? That's some shit. Do you know our methodology? You don't? Oh, ain't that some shit? Oh, okay. But you have experience, huh? Or do you have ego and I now have to spend the whole time arguing with your ass because you think you know everything, even though you haven't learned our methodology?
Church.
Like, this shit's crazy when y'all see how this shit works. Like the real world versus when you sit in a room when they talking very commercial to each other. Yes, I have this degree. I have this, and everybody's like you go to a party where people are networking. That shit's not even. I listen like this shit don't even make sense to me. Did we finish the slide? Okay, next slide. Next slide.
You came perfect time.
Yeah, I was stretching it out a little bit for. Okay, go ahead. Don't y'all dare pause me. Keep going. Don't you dare fucking pause me. I swear I hate y'all so much. I swear. I hope y'all all roll over your favorite stuffed animal today and it's dirty. You can never use it again. Anyway, go ahead.
It was like 3-part harmony pause too. Pause.
Yeah. I hate everybody in this room.
If you don't know enough,
I'll be candid as fuck. I hate y'all.
if you don't know enough about what you're doing to make your own decisions, you probably should do what everyone is doing.
So that's called social proofing. We talked about social proofing last week. That's how social proof works. It's often people when you don't know enough about something, you just copy and paste. So that's why when you first start a business, you're mostly social proofing. You're mostly social proofing. And the reason you can't be original about it is because, so one of the best ways to start a new business that you never started before, let's say tomorrow you decide you want to design tennis rackets, but you never did design tennis rackets before. What I would suggest is go work for a tennis racket company. And then learn more about the tennis racket industry, talk to people in tennis racket, and then realize that when you first start, you won't have innovation if you just buy some tennis rackets and try to resell them. because all you're going to do is try to social proof ideas, but don't really know which idea is good or bad. So more likely you just be average. This is why number one reasons why you first start a business, you're going to suck because you're just social proofing in. Now, as you get experience and you gain knowledge, you start to learn how the industry works. You learn how to position yourself, how to design properly, how to integrate, how to design a proper marketing system, proper logistics, proper accounting, and now you're in a position where you're running a successful business. But when you first start a business, you're social proofed in. Now, anything that you espouse, if you don't study it, just know you're social proofed in. Anything you learn in your life, any subject, if you haven't thoroughly studied it, if somebody says, what's wrong with black people, and you don't thoroughly study that shit, you're social proofed in. You're just echoing what other people are saying. You don't fucking know. And so that lack of, now why is that so important? Am I trying to smash on you? No, I'm not trying to smash your ego or tell you you're trash. I do that to myself as quick as possible, because what it does is it lets me know this is when you need to learn. Or this is when you need to go out and figure out what is, or where you need to say, this is not my circle of genius. Otherwise, if you don't learn this concept here, you start thinking you have all these areas where you are a genius in, or that's transferable, and you're actually trash. Keep going.
If you want better than average results, though, you'll have to think clearly. And thinking clearly is thinking independently.
It's hard. That means you're not, so thinking independently is, you don't read a book and go, ooh, this is hella tight. This is what I want to do. You read multiple books and even opposite opinions, and you study the subject thoroughly to the point that you can form your own opinion. Right? Because like when I teach this class, I don't read popular books and go, I just want to echo that back to you guys. That's just disingenuous. There's multiple things I do, but one of the things I definitely do is that when I'm studying books and I'm listening to podcasts, I'm listening for opposites and I'm listening for contradictions. I'm listening for different variations. I'm listening for context, so I can form a certain opinion. And in addition to that, I can also see multiple different ways of seeing it, right? So my ownership, it's almost like you have to learn with ownership, not just kind of copy and pick. That's why when you go to people for advice or just do observations, it's not a healthy way of learning. Advice should motivate you. It should help you, give you some direction on how to start the process of learning, but advice is not learning. I learn by people giving me advice. That is not learning. Because if you take that advice, you'll realize if you go out there and start to, if I took advice from Tyson how to fight, I should not get in the ring. Because somehow I took everything he said and turned it into a windmill. Go ahead.
Sometimes you have to break free of the social default and do something differently from those around you. Fair warning, it's going to get uncomfortable.
Practice that. You got to practice that. That's not something you can just do. You got to practice doing something opposite. So, for example, give you an example. Okay, pro-black. There was a group. There was a. I think they were almost trans. Dead or Alive. It was a rock and roll group called Dead or Alive. What was it called? You guys you spin me right round. Well, okay. His bass lines were crazy, right? And Michelle and cello too, right? I would specifically go to things like that by myself. Now, they ain't my kind of crowd, right? I'm not a punk rocker, right? And Dead or Alive was kind of trans looking, right? Like the lead singer dressed up like a woman. And he had this deep voice, right? If you ever hear his bass lines, it's some cold bass lines. And I never forget, I went to a concert and they're jumping, the place is vibrating to the bass. We're on the second level and the ground's shaking like this, right? And the music's hitting. It's almost like, you ever seen that kind of view effect when it's almost like whoa, like that kind of effect? Most amazing experience. Went to Michelle and cello until this guy hit on me and I was like, okay, I gotta go, it's too much. But hey, let's just limit to how far I can go, right? Jumping out of a plane, right? Ain't nobody in my family want to jump out of a plane. If I told black folks in my family I would jump out of a plane, they'd be like, why in the fuck you gonna go kill yourself? That's what's wrong. Them white people got you messed up. Yeah, crazy. So, jumping out of a plane. I try things all the times that make me, when I jumped out of a plane, I thought it was okay. I was cool until we got in the air. We got in the air. The dude says, look down there. That's where we jumping. I said, oh, man. He was going first. He goes, oh, by the way, we're only halfway. We got to go up another 4,000 feet. I said, this dude got me fucked up. My heart, and then the whole time, and then the dude says this is where silence got me. Dude said, okay, so we're gonna jump in tandem. So do me a favor, slide and sit on my lap. This dude starts laughing at me instantly, like, you about to sit on the man's lap. He's crying, laughing, until the dude grabbed him and said, now you sit on my lap. So I'm in total discomfort. I'm sitting on a grown man sitting on a grown man lap. I'm 50 now. I'm 52 or maybe. I'm 52. And I'm like, I just made the way. This is when I was 250. So that means you will come down a little bit harder, right? Man, when they first pushed me out the plane, because the first one they said, okay, we're gonna do this process. And I'm just thinking of the process. I'm thinking like, okay, just stay focused on the process and don't think about what's in front of you. And they slide you to the end of the plane. They say, okay, so the cameraman gonna tell you to look at him and smile. And then we're gonna jump. I'm thinking it's gonna be a 1, 2, 3, like take a picture, 1, 2, 3. It was like take a picture, snap, push me out the plane. For 7 seconds of my life, I thought I was insane. I thought it was the worst thing because you have no control. It's not like in the movies, they'd be like, right? No, it's like this, right? Now, while I was in all this, I'm thinking, I cannot imagine I'm about to do this for the whole time. It's absolutely insane, right? And then we get to a point where they pull that goddamn parachute. Now, men, stay with me. We got this thing called groin. I might have a permanent hernia from how much I ain't never been snatched in that area like that. That is almost like a form of like mid-age punishment, right? So snatch me, right? So dude's like, yo, you want to do these little turns? Hell no, man. We're doing too much already. I done been through a lot since from the tight everything, right? Okay, so when they land, they're supposed to land and kind of like be underneath you and then slide, right? But I had a little Asian dude, right? This dude's like, oh no, you not about to fuck me up. And he just pushed my ass like this and I landed straight on my ass asleep. I said, oh, hell to the fuck to no. And he's like, and then Shakina like, you want to do it again? Fuck no, I won't do this again. But I had to do it. And why did I have to do it? Because I practice being uncomfortable. I ride motorcycles, people, in my 50s, and I ride. And I don't ride crazy like the young people. The young people trying to kill themselves. But I ride with some type of common sense. But the thing is that most people don't ride motorcycles at your age, right? I go running. I go cycling up hills. I'm throwing up heavy 315 10 times. You understand me? That's what I do. Let's just let the room pause for that moment. But the point is this. Yeah, it's some real shit. Can I get a witness? But the point is this, and so all I'm saying is that in the world of Nana, I practice that because why? Let me tell you why this is important. This is real talk. Going to the gym is uncomfortable. There's nothing about the gym that says, "Ooh, this is so sexy." No, it's not. It's not. And I go to dirty ass 24-hour fitness. That shit's like going to the piss heaven trying to work out, right? It stinks, right? And so. But when I'm going there, you know what happens? When I have to make a business decision that makes me uncomfortable, guess what I do? I can shrug my shoulders and make it. But I practice that discomfort and uncomfortable decision making all the fucking time. And when everybody says, I'm going to the right, anybody that knows me, I've always said, well, I can go where the fuck y'all want to go. I'm going over here. But I practiced that. When I was at that concert with the trans dude jumping up and down, now, mind you, it wasn't, back then, nobody was talking about trans. Like, trans is a thing now. Trans have always been around. Nobody gives a shit about no trans like that. But back then, it was just, dudes who dress like girls. I don't give a shit. That's your style. And I liked his music. And I said, I'm going to this music concert. None of my partners going to that shit with me. East Oakland would have told me, what the fuck is wrong with you, Nana? And guess what? I had a great time. It's still one of my, next to Prince, P-Funk, and Dead or Alive, those are my 3 favorite in-person concerts I've ever been to. Straight up. It's like, you know what I mean, when Kanye said he went to a rock and roll concert and that's when he finally figured out how to produce a show? Because before then he was just and he said, oh, that's a show. You got to move in different spaces and see different things and listen to different people and try different foods and travel different. When you travel outside this country, for those of you who haven't traveled outside this country, hopefully everybody's done it. You're going to realize your system, your inference system, your belief system don't apply over there no more. Mm-hmm. And you have to learn to live in a different way of thinking and still have a great life. And so I'm just saying, like, breaking that norm and getting comfortable and having uncomfortable practices, keep a little risk in your life. Don't make your life normal. Don't become that normal motherfucker. Keep some edge in your life, keep a little risk in your life, keep a little play in your life, keep a little rule breaking in your life. And I ain't talking about don't be fucking up your taxes or going to jail. I didn't say all that shit because I ain't coming to see your ass. I'm saying to keep the shit real, you got to keep a little play in your life. If you get to the point that you're so damn normal, you will dull your life to the point that you're going to just have to produce an average life. You be talking about, I'm just trying to retire and put my money. You ever heard the retirement people, they talk to you like so average. You know, when you get 65, you got to have this much money put away. That shit sounds like death. Move. Okay, I didn't save money in my 30s and 40s because I told them fuck off. That shit's depressing. I don't want to stop at 60. I actually want to change my role in life. But now my money growth in my 50s is so aggressive that I started putting away large sums of money for movement and freedom of the future. But I'm not counting on that money as my retirement. I'm trying to build systems that will run without my heavy engagement that generate resources for me as I move through life, right? Create multiple sources of income. Not this whole idea of, you got to save some money so that way when they send you Social Security, you have some money to subsidize it and you can go to McDonald's and get you some old people Happy Meals. You know what I'm saying? No, I don't want that shit. It's going to be okay. Keep going. Finish it off. Our desire
to fit in often overpowers our desire for a better outcome.
I promise you, I know people that was in this class, they couldn't miss no goddamn festivals, parties, bar mitzvahs, baby showers. Like, why the fuck are y'all going to 2-year-old birthday parties and your business is fucked up? I don't get that shit. Like, my daughter, they gave my daughter a 1-year-old birthday party and I told her I ain't invite nobody, don't ask me to come to y'all shit. This shit's stupid. My daughter still don't remember. I can tell her right now, you remember this? What are you talking about? I knew that. You know what a 1-year-old birthday party could have been? Play with her friends. That's it. But all the adults came over. It was stupid. Why I always tell myself, I try to manage my resources, my time, my energy, my money. So when I do spend time with my daughter, it's quality, not half, right? That means I got to say no to things that don't matter in order for me to be a quality father. Same thing with your business. In order for you to run a quality business or be successful in life, you got to say no to things that just don't matter. And it's going to offend some people. But when I do show up, it's valuable. But I don't show up to everything. Like, yes, I missed all y'all birthday parties. I mean, y'all get over it. Go ahead. Next one.
Instead of trying something new, we tell ourselves something new.
So, meaning that you don't change your life, you just keep telling yourself that it's something new. You think, I'm different this time. At least it's not like last time. You convincing yourself that you're moving in a different way, or you tell yourself new stories, but if you actually looked at your numbers, your lifestyle, and your practice and your habits, it's the same old shit. And your only thing that's new is when the crowd changes new, you become new, but you're not new because you were new. So the average is not a straight average, is doing this, right? So you think because it's doing this, you're having new experiences, but all you're doing is still following the average. Next slide.
It's easy to take comfort in the fact that other people agree with us. Mm-hmm. As legendary investor Warren Buffett pointed out, though, the fact that other people agree or disagree with you makes you neither right nor wrong. You will be right if your facts and reasoning are correct.
Okay, this is stay with me. This hear this out. This is really important. If you went to 10 of your friends and they all agree with you or disagree with you, you still have nothing. If you turn on the television, everybody's saying what you said to me in class, we disagreed, you still have nothing. I can promise you, I can find you a plethora, especially in today's age. It's more important than ever before. Because now you have algorithms that's pushing messages to you that's wrong, right? So you can find all the validation you want, and you can find all the disagreements you want. You got to learn how to think independent, otherwise you're going to be victims of modern day technology. You got to be able to say, I know everybody says this, everybody's going this place, everybody believes this person is the hottest person, everybody's spending all their money, they got 10 million people following them. I still don't fuck with them. Because you've analyzed it, you say, hey, it's just not applicable. It doesn't apply to me. It's not realistic, or it doesn't function that way. Oh, I love this and I dislike this. And like I see it all the time, like in the Democratic and Republican movement, they're just echoing what everybody else is echoing, and there's no ownership. And we do that as black people. We're echoing what pro-black people said, or what social justice people said, or what middle-class black people said, or what the popular black people said, or what our close friends said, and you never figured out what you got to say. It's just cold. Next slide.
While we need divergence from the norm to make progress, not all divergence is advantageous.
So for those of you who can get off on divergence, which is I just do me, I'm just always being me. Keep going.
To be successful, it's not enough to do something different. You also need to be right.
So to do something different, okay. Here's the challenge of as you start to grow. If you start to grow your business, you always have to find a balance between respecting the cultural traditions and doing what's right. So let's say, for example, Court's getting married, right? I'm not a wedding type dude. But if Court's getting married, that's my brother, right? So I would attend his wedding in full engagement of the ritual, even though that's not my thing. But I'm enjoying supporting him in the ritual, right? Most upper level networking is how do you show up in certain places and who are you connected with? How did you invest your time? How do you participate in certain things? If you're just purely independent going, what's it got to do with me? 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 You'll fuck around when you say, hey, I need somebody to look this way. They be like, well, shit, what's it got to do with me either? You're going to have to make some investments in other people that doesn't necessarily have a direct return. It's just investment into the culture, right? If I came to your house, Kaja, the first thing I'm going to do when I walk in your house is, what can I do to make her feel as if I want him to come back? So, hey, you need me to take this trash out? You need me to move this furniture? While I'm there, how can I help you out? There's some things you need to challenge. You need me to run a store and grab some stuff for you. You see where I'm going with this? That's how you build relationships. So you can't be so independent that you destroy. You're still playing the game of relationships, and you got to know how to move. It's just not no simple A and B. Like do this or don't do that. You got to have a certain degree of discernment and wisdom to say, I need to be here. There's no benefits to me, but I just need to be here. And I don't need to be here. This is value. And usually sometimes you won't know. Sometimes you're going to get it wrong. You realize, okay, this has no value to me whatsoever. But like the meeting today had no value to me, like no direct value. And Tennille said, well, how do you feel about going to this meeting? I said, well, this is a partner of ours. So I had to be there. But it had no value to me. So I'm irritated. Because I'm stuck between the rock and I couldn't walk away and be like, man, fuck you guys, right? Because we also have a 3-year partnership together. So I have to be here. And when I have to be there, I have to show up and show out. Because that's how I move as the way my personal standards is, how I move in life is I have to always show up and hold myself to highest standards, right? However, there's cases where somebody would say, hey, we got this party over here. Can you come through? And I'm like, no, I can't. And there's been sometimes when I said no and I found out the people were there, I should have been there. So you kind of have to like use wisdom. It's not just some don't do or just do. You can't always move from the crowd, but when the crowd is at a point where it's going against something you want to try different or do something different that is going to be beneficial, impactful, or change your life, you got to look at the difference. And I see that where we don't know how to separate from the crowd or when to connect to the crowd. We do all or nothing. And that's kind of like a problem. Go ahead. Next slide. It's pretty much finished. Keep going. Next slide.
Lou Brock might have put it best when he said, show me a guy who's afraid to look bad, and I'll show you a guy you can beat every time.
Pause. That's fire. If you're afraid, this is why you have to almost divorce social media. Now, you can do it on there strategically, but if you always worry about how people see you and what you look like, you're weak. Okay, let me show you what they call it in the streets. You're a trick. That's a trick. Read that again. Tell me that's not a definition of a trick.
Show me a guy who's afraid to look bad, and I'll show you a guy you can beat every time.
Stop tricking. Next word. Can you finish that sentence?
In other words, someone who's possessed by the social default is easy to defeat.
So if you're possessed by being accepted by the masses or looking good to others, I could defeat you every time. You're gullible. The person that can walk away from the crowd, okay, just become a general and think about that. Be a coach on a basketball team and think about that. Be an owner of a team, think about that. Think about how you would compromise everything, trying to be accepted by everybody. I know governments right now can't say who they are because some of them are still our clients, and they just send me a big ass check. So I gotta just remove their name from this frame. As long as they're paying, I gotta use some discretion. But their whole organization and government has frozen because they try to please everyone. They can't get anything done. You're easy to defeat. It's not possible. Next slide.
If you find yourself exerting energy to fit in with a crowd,
Listen to this.
if you're frequently fearful of disappointing other people,
Come on now.
if you're afraid of being an outsider, or if the threat of scorn fills you with dread, then beware. The social default is in charge.
Okay. Read that again, but the last line say slavery culture is in charge. Read that for black folks real quick.
If you find yourself exerting energy to fit in with a crowd,
With black folks.
if you're frequently fearful of disappointing other people,
Black folks.
if you're afraid of being an outsider, or if the threat of scorn fills you with dread,
Black folks.
then beware. The slavery default is in charge.
This is how, okay. If you look at like black culture as a whole, you can see the impact of slavery, right? But in order for me to see the impact of slavery, that means a large group of people have to be moving a certain kind of way for the impact to reveal itself. If you can't separate yourself from the crowd, you're part of that evidence of slave behavior and it's impacting your life. If you look around you and everybody's poor, but yet you find yourself hard to break away from folks because your commitment and how people are going to see you and view you, are you always trying to impress them? Then you're probably poor too. If you see certain values you absolutely disagree with and you think you're different, you're lying to yourself. You're the same people. So the social default is fully in charge. That's why when you're on social media and you're constantly trying to win likes, you see what's happening? Mm-hmm. You become socially default. You're average. You think you're amazing because maybe you told yourself, I'm a boss, I'm sexy, look at my new hairstyle, look at my feet size, they small, whatever. I don't know if I guess say some shit just say, whatever. By default, you're average. Like, video vixens are some visually pretty women, but let me share y'all some insights that most women don't know. Most men see them as average. They're just like copy and pasting each other. Nobody values them. Now, when a man sees a man date a video vixen, he's like, damn, he going through a crisis? Am I lying, man? Any man who takes a video vixen serious is seen as something wrong with that man. Because she's average. There's nothing special about her. As pretty as she is, and as shapely as she could be, my Lord, she's average. You gotta give shots out. So, next slide. This is what I was trying to rush to. I was really trying to rush to this.
Inertia.
Wait. This shit's fire. Hold on a second. I wish we had like lighters and we could all just turn the lights on and just do like some old Prince shit. But this shit about to be fire. I promise you, if you get this shit right here, This shit right here has an invisible norm, and it's like an invisible pool or polarity or just power that takes you over, and you can feel it, but you almost can't identify it. And when you start using this language, it's almost like what they used to say. When I was a Christian, they used to say, if you want the devil to stop having his impact, you say, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. Which is by calling the devil out, you stop the devil from having power. Is that still right? That's how they used to say it, right? That's right. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. Hush, hush. Don't start no stuff, sister. Okay. But this is a devil for us. And when I get into this, it's going to seem kind of innocent, but as we get into this, I can promise you this is the devil that will cause you to burn down the house. This is the devil that will stop you from having a better life. This is the devil that will cause you to imprison yourself. Right? But once you learn to call it out, you now have a choice. But if you can't, you've been feeling it your whole life. But until you put a name on it, it's almost like I don't know what it is, but for some reason I gotta just keep. All right, let's go.
The inertia default pushes us to maintain the status quo. Starting something is hard, but so too is stopping something. We resist change even when change is for the best.
I talk to people every day. And there's more people suffering from inertia. I've had people call me about ideas and sound so intellectual, but the next day do the exact same thing they did the day before because of inertia. Not because of fear, not because they're stupid. It's pure inertia. Go ahead. So this is what inertia is. Go read the bottom line.
Objects never change if they're left alone. Mm-hmm. They don't start moving on their own, nor do they stop moving till something stops them. The law of physics can also be applied to human behavior.
So inertia is this idea that if something moves, it doesn't stop moving until something stops it. And if something stops, it doesn't move until something pushes it, right? But until then, why is in one of those states, it stays until it experiences the opposite force. You guys got that? It's important because it's about to get really uncomfortable. Next slide.
Once our minds are set in a direction, they tend to continue in that direction unless acted upon by some outside force.
Okay. So whatever your belief system is, how you've been moving this whole life, whatever your rituals are, your habits, your emotional responses to things, once you set your mind as that's your norm, your religious beliefs, things that you say, this is who I am, which is no real such thing. Things that you echo in the world, this is how I move. This is how I get down. This is my story. All your stories have the power of inertia, right? So read that, start from the top again. So I need you guys to stay with me. So read it again.
Once our minds are set in a direction, they tend to continue in that direction unless acted upon by some outside force.
Keep going.
This cognitive inertia is why changing our minds is hard.
This is, okay, so have you guys, raise your hands if you learned something in this class, but it was hard to implement it. It's just hella hard. Okay. Raise your hands if you built something with a group of people and everybody believed in it, and even when you guys heard something different, you guys just found it hard to change the direction as a group. Have you guys been a part of that before? Mm-hmm. Okay, watch how cold this shit is. Keep going.
This cognitive inertia is why changing our minds is hard. Inertia keeps us in jobs we hate and in relationships that don't make us happy, because in both cases, we know what to expect, and it's comforting to have our expectations reliably met.
Comfort. You guys have no idea how the power of comfort. Have you ever been in a space where you forgot to change your sheets for a few weeks? Like we know, everybody know you're supposed to change your sheets almost once a week, right? But you got so comfortable, you just got in bed, didn't make up the bed. That bed sheets ain't been washed for like 2 or 3 weeks, right? That applies to your whole life. You will learn to get so used to comfort that you don't realize the comfort of bad habits, even though you know they're bad. I can tell Kaja right now, Kaja, these ideas right here are bad. I know because I'm telling you. But as soon as it comes in my direction, I don't come close to following not because I can't hear it. I even hear my voice telling me, "No, you know that shit ain't cool," and I still lay my ass down in that bed. Now you know that. Nana, come on, man. You know this shit. I can even break this shit down to scientifically why it ain't cool. Dieting. Literally, you can say, "I know I shouldn't be eating this sugar. I know I should be eating this cake at 12 o'clock at the night. I'm over here drinking soda by myself." Soda should never be drinking by yourself, by the way, if you don't drink soda. That's just, it's like snorting cocaine. Let's just don't do that. But you're out there preaching to everybody, don't drink soda and eat sugar. Why is it you can't change? Because it's comfort. Why are you arguing about ideas that you believe in and getting mad and fighting people, defending people? It's not because their idea is wrong or yours is really, really right. It's because they're trying to disrupt your comfort. I used to say back in the days, everybody wants to become successful and be comfortable. No, I don't give a shit what your success is in. If you want to be a successful parent, will it be comfortable? If you want to be successful in weight loss, will it be comfortable? If you want to be successfully educated, will you be comfortable? How the fuck you will be an entrepreneur and be comfortable? It's the craziest shit, but it's inertia. And it's an innate characteristic in your brain that makes you go, man, at least I know what I'm going to get if I do this every time. If I do this, okay, for example, where inertia kicks in really heavy for me, and I thank God it does, is in Las Vegas. I won't gamble in Las Vegas because of inertia. I know for sure, if I don't play those machines, I know for sure I'm going to walk out of here with what I expect to walk out of here with. Right? But in business, I realize I take risk because inertia is trying to keep me from taking those risks. If I believe in inertia, I'd be on East 18th and 12th Avenue. Mm-hmm. That's where my business first started. It was comfortable. Nobody bothered me. We had some of the best barbecues in the world. I would have made a little bit more money, and my money would start dragging. But every time I moved, I changed the trust level of my business. We had some big people drive by our office recently, saw our logo on the outside of our building, and go, "Y'all got that building? I used to be at Blue Bot. I used to dream of that building." Man, didn't tell the guy who owns a company in Walnut Creek, "I told you should fuck with them. Y'all change numbers. Make sure y'all interact." The building did that. The building says, this is taught by Roy Sutherland. The reason he always eats at McDonald's and not the guy who's pushing a cart, because he knows that if I get sick, I know who can respond to me getting sick. The guy pushing a cart, he just might not be on that corner again. I can hold McDonald's, so I know McDonald's, I can trust him because I know they can make it a certain kind of way, and they guarantee except the one on Lake Park that had the rats. But outside of the one on Lake Park, most McDonald's follow the same rules and cook it the same way time and time and time again, right? So when he travels, he goes to McDonald's so he doesn't experience food poisoning because that works against his interests, right? When you build a brick and mortar, it tells a customer, if I have a problem, I have somebody I can go back to. That's why you buy Samsung. This is why you buy Sony. This is why you buy an Apple computer, because you know if I have a problem, you're buying it for loss aversion. So when you get a space in an office, it says, guess what? I have loss aversion. Number two, it says, why do older men have access to so many women? You understand me? The reason for this, and I'm not speaking from experience, I'm just saying this is what the research says, you understand? But what I'm saying is the reason that older men have access to so many women is because by him living longer, this is why older men in mafia, older men are head of mafia even though they can't fight and beat the younger men. Why? Because it says if you got this far, you must have a certain degree of strength. We are attracted to animals with strength because why? We're loss averse. We're trying to survive. I don't want to hang around somebody that's going to threaten my life. right? That's why when certain people walk in certain communities, why they get certain. Do you know that if a dominant person speaks to a weaker person, the weaker person changes their voice unconsciously to themselves to make the dominant person comfortable? Our comfort zones and this inertia thing is powerful as fuck. Next slide.
One reason we resist change is that keeping things the way they are requires almost no effort.
Now remember, your brain is lazy. Your brain doesn't want to burn no calories. So why can't I just stay the way I am? I thought you said you're gonna love me for who I am. No, not that person. Fuck you talking about? Like, we both gonna be evolving. No such thing as the way I am, right? That's inertia. You hear people say, why can't we just get back to the basics? I just need a weekend where things are just simple, right? Inertia is working in there. And then whether you know or not, it's a force that's gonna cause you to make a lot of passive, wrong decisions that's gonna stop the progress of your life. I'm gonna show you this shit's gonna be so cool. So keep going, read the finish, start from the top again.
One reason we resist change is that keeping things the way they are requires almost no effort. This helps explain why we get complacent. It takes a lot of effort to build momentum, but far less to maintain it. Once something becomes good enough, we can stop the effort and still get decent results. The inertia default leverages our desire to stay in our comfort zone, relying on old techniques or standards even when they're no longer optimal.
This is how businesses die. Inertia. Look at this real quick. Why does a business die? A business gets to a point where it's trying to get comfortable in a world that's always changing. It's trying to find a resting place. It's trying to find the way we've always done it. One of the signs I know a manager is a bad manager, he uses the phrase, the way we used to do it, the way we've always done it. He's not looking forward. He's trying to always validate the past. Okay. Do we really know what race relationships is going to be in 40 years? Do we know? We have no idea. Yet, most of our discussions is fighting for what? The future or the past? So how do we know that we don't sound like some goddamn fools right now because of our inertia? We're just trying to keep things the normal. Most people who are arguing in the past are just trying to keep it the same. Yet, nothing stays the same. We're fighting against the natural order of life in this direction of inertia, which is, I'm just trying to stay here, or I'm just trying to keep moving the same way. It doesn't work that way. I was talking to a brother today who was running a business. I said, hey, listen, okay, you got 100 people in your business. I'm mixing the numbers up so you try to figure out what I'm talking about. So you have 100 people in your business, and now you're about to have 200 people. What's the magic number before you have to change your business? He says, damn, how did you know that? That's inertia. Inertia says you don't get to be the same. How you start your business and as you scale, this is scaling in a cold ass way. As you scale, nothing stays the same. You're gonna get old. Do you realize, okay, let's say you're 20 or 30s, right? Do you realize your norm is about to disappear? You get to 40s, it's a new norm. 50s is a new norm. 60s is a new norm. 70s is a new norm. And if you can't accept those new norms as they are welcome, you're gonna become depressed as you age. Because you know why? You want to have a 20-year-old life still. Like, the more you can move with inertia, you can maximize this human experience to the maximum level and get everything out of it. And you'll know how to show up to each decade to maximize how you show up to that decade. But if you stick in inertia, you're still trying to eat the way you ate in your 20s. You 50-something years old. You trying to be at the same parties. You're the only motherfucker in there that can't dance because your knees hurt. You're over there. You're at the club trying to give advice. Them shoes right there. You should go to Macy's, get them shoes right there. You're going out there, get out there. Obviously, right here. Talk to this person right here. That's all you got. Too old to be there. Inertia literally destroys growth in business because what you're trying to do is keep things the way they are, or keep doing the way you've been doing it, not accepting the changes that everything around you is indicating you have to make. And even though you can read the changes, no, you're not stupid. You can see the changes. You can see your competition changing. You can even hear the changes. But when you get back to the office, you do the shit you did last week and the last week and the week before that, and then still preach to everybody, yeah, we're trying to be innovative around here. You are impacted by inertia. Is this shit cold? You don't get to be the story in your, when you build a business, you don't tell yourself a story. This is what I'm gonna, I'm gonna get to you at this question. I make $5,000 a month right now. But when I get to $100,000 a month, this is who I want to be as a business. And I often want to tell people, what the fuck are you talking about? Because when you get there, nothing stays the same. Your story is a $5,000 story. You don't have a $100,000 a month story. We get to $100,000 a month story, you're going to discover there's all new challenges. And guess what? That person that survived down here can't exist up here. Mm-hmm. It's impossible. It's absolutely impossible. But inertia will make you try to force this person to be this person and sabotage everything and all your responsibilities up here.
So true.
Y'all see how cold this shit is? Mm-hmm. This shit is cold as fuck. She was like, oh shit, okay.
Do you, this is so loud, sorry. Do you always, how are you telling when it's time to put this in place if nothing is glaringly wrong? Because you don't want to just start making changes for change's sake. You want to be open to making them.
I know. So my perception is by default limited. I don't trust my perception. My perception is a one-on-one thing. My perception is designed to get me home tonight. So it is designed to see 100 people. It ain't designed to see competition. Competition ain't telling me every day, hey, by the way, we just invented some new shit. We be there 2 weeks to take your shit down. They don't tell me that. They don't tell me some guys come out of college right now that's better than me. They don't tell me none of that shit. They don't tell me that I'm no longer the hottest person at that company who I have a big contract with, and they pissed off on the inside that they're not telling me, right? So if I'm not always moving forward and acting as if I'm not entitled, get that word. This shit's so connected. If you stay in appreciation mode, you stay in what I gotta keep doing. It's like I don't get no resting place. There's no rest. My rhythm is my rest, but my rhythm is change at all times and grow at all times. And how can we improve? How can we be better than? If you call me tomorrow and say, Nana, you guys did the most amazing job. We've heard this 1,000 times. This is the most amazing job you've ever done. And guess what's going to happen next Monday? Hey, y'all, how can we improve this shit? Because why? It says that why we have that practice, because we know that once we get comfortable, then we're going to just try to protect our culture as we know it, realizing that our culture is now OGs. Right? Because just like when you become an OG, like if anybody's ever become an OG, if you crossed over, when you finally cross over, you won't even feel it. One day you're going to just go see some people you think that we're all young, and they'll be like, yeah, OG. You'll be like, wait, what the fuck you call me? And this shit happened like in my late 30s. I was 39, so I'm 38. Somebody said, listen, OG. And I said, wait, what the fuck? I beat this dude ass. I ain't no OG. I can still run, play basketball. What the fuck wrong with this dude? OG. My perception didn't pick up that I may not be OG to me, but I'm OG to him. So perception is no longer good. My perception, in my mind, I can't see this gray hair on my face. In my mind, if y'all say, let's try this, like some type of physical competition, I'm gonna jump out there. Now, I may discover at some point my knees disagree. But for the most part, my brain think I can still do that shit. So when you're running a business, you almost move your business with this perception. Don't trust your perception. I know it's counterintuitive what I'm telling you. Don't use your rationale. Don't trust it. Move with this idea of if we're not moving, we're dying, people. If we're not growing, we're dying. And also, too, if something doesn't work and we don't stop it, the inertia is in control. I mean, like say, for example, like, okay, I'm going to call yours out, but trust me, I love you. And I never call you out like that because, honestly, like, okay, remember when you ran that thing? Remember the inertia there? You remember like how you had the smiles. I watched all your emotional dance as you spoke, right? And the commitment, the glow, the commitment, the passion for it, even how you even retold the story until we asked about the numbers, and it was depressing. But till the numbers showed up, you weren't even doing this. You was like, straight going climbing Mount Everest in your explanation. And then once we said the numbers, she's like, oh, but the shit, goddamn shit. We down there with the whales, right? So what I'm saying is that inertia becomes that thing that when you were speaking, you weren't lying to me. You're the most ethical person I've met in this class. I mean, one of the most highest ethical people I've seen, right? I watch how you move, because I watch everybody in this class. I don't just, I watch you, girl. You understand what I mean? Yeah. I tell these older dudes, you better watch us. But anyway, but the thing is that, but as when I'm watching you, I know you weren't sitting there lying to me. You weren't trying to impress me, because you do walk by you were comfortable walking to your own beat. I've seen you be like, fuck y'all, I'm over here, right? So you very, very comfortable being you, right? But inertia took you over, where you had this idea, you got comfortable with an idea, and you rejected any information that was pushing you for an idea until you ran that idea. And even though you could have called out everything we said was wrong, you could have saw it, but inertia put the blinders on you. That shit is so real. So me personally, this is how I stop inertia that's how I stop my moment. So let's use two sides of inertia. How do I get started? I always tell myself, if we're standing still, we're dead. We're dying. Even if we're making money, we're standing still, we're dying, people. Because that means the rest of the world's catching up and starting to pass. We're only winning because we're outrunning the competition. Once we start running and just try to coast, competition's still running. And guess what? And if they're aggressive enough, they'll smash on us aggressively and kill us. That's what businesses do. They'll kill you in a minute. They'll buy you off and kill you, right? The other side of that inertia, what I tell myself all the time is, yo, let me see the numbers, man. Michelle would come to me like, oh, we gotta do this. All right, let me see the numbers. I'm not doing that shit no more. You got me fucked up. I hired a designer, and she was talking a hell of a talk. We like, yeah, oh hell yeah, hell yeah. She sent me the numbers. I said, hell no. No. That's not what the fuck I said. No. Now, can I spend the money? Yes, I can. But no. Why? Because it doesn't make any business sense. I'm not about to be in this building for 20 years. 7, 10, who knows? I might buy another building. Who knows, right? Whatever amount of time I'm being in this motherfucking building, I got to think about it as this is a mobile space I'm going to move in and move through it and then move on to the next, right? Or because I'm planning on expanding. I don't plan on being like, I got to stay here. I'm going to get these many employees and they're going to stay here for 10 or 15, 20, 30 until I die. That's inertia. My brain's going to say, I'm here, but the future is so, I might get stopped or I might start. But to overinvest as it's going to be the same makes no sense.
Okay, I'm 1,000% aligned with that. Agree. So you have to move.
At all times.
At all times, but
aggressively.
If you're moving to avoid inertia, so there's not a specific thing that happened, but you know you need to move, how are you knowing what direction to move? Because it wasn't like this dropped, so you know you need to move over there, or this broke, so you know you need to move over here. How are you picking where to move? So
in order for you to really maximize the move, is you're moving with intelligence. That's why the ideation and the team and diversity and people looking around corners and looking at where's the next possible opportunity for you to grow into, or where should we go next, or how we should think about this, and what did we learn from our previous things, and as we watch competition that's out there that's in front of us, how can we catch them? So it's like it's more of a that's where strategy comes in, where you're constantly doing observations and testing and moving, and you're using a team to be able to see around those corners, not you. Like I said, when you get to a certain point in your company, you ain't good enough. Like I ain't good enough. I don't have that. I don't have the Jesus, right? Jesus only had the Jesus. And so outside of Jesus, I need a team, right? And so, and we get this team, we form Voltron and we become like a team Jesus. But individually, we're trash. All of us. Okay, we finish that slide?
Yes, we did.
Next slide.
Another reason we tend to push back against change is that doing something different might lead to worse results.
It's the fear of failure. So as a group, watch this. The fear of failure is always there, even though, okay, it's obvious failure, like I don't want to fail. And then there's this subconscious, invisible undercurrent of governing beliefs of failure that makes inertia favorable. Right? And we always do this fast, it's always work, why we want to change? Not a damn. You ever seen a company make a product like Apple and you're thinking, this shit's amazing. And then they just flip into some new thing. Like, but why don't you get the old shit going? like the 27-inch iMac, right? That shit was great. It was 5K, computer, speed, everything you needed right here in the computer, great price, everything. And then come along and be like, we're not doing that anymore. And you think, what the fuck? Look at their numbers. And you be like, oh. Even when they talk about Elon Musk, oh, he just fired his whole Charger team. I tell to myself, as a business person, and then he did what? Because that man understands numbers. He understands inertia. Mm-hmm. He's not going to just say, I fired him and I'm just going to stop. That's inertia. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He fired him because he has another plan. That's called fighting inertia. You get him going with this, like inertia is such a cold game. This is such strategical thinking, but like macro of like, you got to manage the inertia at all times because it's working against you. And you can never assume it's not there because it's always waiting on you. So even when you say, I'm comfortable being your friend, you're like, how many of y'all got friends y'all know y'all should have cut them motherfuckers loose a long time ago? That's inertia. That's inertia. It's you, it's not them. It's you. Keep going.
There is an asymmetry to change. Mm-hmm. We take negative results to heart more than positive ones.
So mind you, negative and positive results are not the same. They're not one-to-one. So one negative equals almost like 10 to 100 positives. Like, that's how much we fear negatives as human beings. Keep going.
Worse results make us stand out for the wrong reasons. Mm-hmm. Why risk looking like an idiot when you can remain average? Mm-hmm. We'd rather be average than risk the possibility of landing somewhere below average.
Now you see why we don't dream big? If you read that to yourself real quick, because I just told you in one paragraph why black people don't dream big. It's a risk. It's a big ass risk. Keep going.
Inertia is evident in many of our daily habits, such as when we stick to the same grocery store brand even if a new, superior one appears on the market.
You guys ever told me, okay, watch this, another inertia statement I said in this class. I will dump anything I believe in if the shit don't work for me. I don't give a fuck. I'm not loyal to anything. Mm-hmm. That's an anti-inertia comment. Because what happens is that I know my loyalty because of my blindness, and it will keep me average. So I'm willing to give up whatever I have to give up to keep things moving forward. So, because like, you know, you tell yourself like, okay, you know, Samsung means everything to me. And like, my mother was on Samsung, my daddy was on Samsung, and my father fell off the cliff. He held his phone in his hand and said, son, never let go of your Samsung. Right? Okay. Tennille has stories. Anyway, so, Tennille's story. Anyway, some of you guys will just die with Samsungs. Nana, don't give a fuck. If it don't make sense, if it don't make money, don't make sense. Like literally, I don't have any loyalty. I don't have loyalty to beliefs that I have that they're not working for us, and I will measure those beliefs at some point. So when I was the way I freed myself from the pro-black ideology is a lot of those ideologies wasn't producing any results, but people were committed to them because of social defaults and inertia. Malcolm said, that's inertia, baby. What does that mean? It's easy to let Malcolm figure it out. I just do what he said do. As opposed to you sit down going, hey, what should we be doing today? That's a lot of responsibility. So a lot of you guys are moving through life in a space of inertia, just trying to find what everybody's doing, staying comfortable and not changing, not because even though you learn different, it's just easier just to do what everybody else does. You know, all those people that give away money, like all those people give away those $10,000, $5,000, $50,000, $100,000 to the new entrepreneur. All the data says it sucks. Guess how many people still doing it that can? All of them. The motherfuckers, look at the data. Data says none of this shit work. None, not even 0.1. This shit doesn't work. They'd be like, how can we do it more? What? Am I lying? The shit cold. Keep going.
This reluctance to try new products is often due to the uncertainty and effort involved in evaluating them. Mm-hmm. To combat this, companies often offer free samples to customers, which serves as a low-risk way for them to try a new product and evaluate its quality without the fear of disappointment.
Okay, so this is goddamn so much here. I know y'all might not see it, but this is so much here. Okay. Some of y'all are using the same old software, same old communication techniques, same old technology, same old computers, same old every fucking thing because you haven't tried anything new. Like some of you guys get stuck in expensive habits or expensive processes that's smothering the business because you're stuck in, this is what we always been doing. Like, I'm going to argue that Photoshop and Illustrator is about to get killed off by AI. They're under attack. And some of you guys will still be using Photoshop and Illustrator in 2042. Talk about this, this shit always work good for me. And wonder why you can't keep with the competition. This AI is so cool. Like I have my digital glasses. I don't have them on today. And when I take a picture with my digital glasses, the AI fixes the picture perfectly. I don't have to go in there and fix any shit. If I want to change the style of the way I fix it, I can just fix it that way. Yet, there was a time everybody got paid for that. In a world where AI is about to flip the whole culture upside down and change our value offer to the world, those who are suffering from inertia don't like AI. The same people who hated cars when they first came around and want to keep the horses, that was inertia. The same person who thought cell phones was going to kill everybody, that's inertia. Inertia will not allow you to move into the future. You might think this is, okay, if you're 25 and younger, that may not translate. If you're 30 and older, you're already talking with inertia undertones. What's wrong with these young people? Inertia, you. Other thing, you bring a new product to the market. Your ego says, man, I made these muffin cough drops, they hella good. And I think they should sell for flea market prices or farmer's market. Y'all know I hate farmer's markets, so I'm gonna fuck it up. So I'm gonna sell this for $3.
Damn, for 1 mint?
That's how farmer markets, they be on some shit. I hate these places. And there's a lot of restaurants that run with farmer market. Like, you should give me tips and extra money to help my employees. Motherfucker, I don't know you, and I don't even like you now. Anyway, so I'm gonna sell my cough drop for $3. Oh, and you can't test it though. That's why you can't grow your business. If you can't create samples, is a cost. Samples is a cost. Samples is a cost. You want to sell food products that change the human habit, but they can't test your products, touch your products, feel your products, engage your products. You know, BMW, if I say I want to do a test drive, they say take the car home for a day or two.
Yep.
Test the products. I never forget, I tested a car one time. The dude got in the car, told me we got limited drive distance and bring the car back because I won't put too many miles on the car. Get me out this muffin car as soon as you can. Because it's psychologically, I got to get past my biases to test the car. But BMW knows it has such a great product that it is superior. Okay, BMW is a driving experience. That's their brand, and it really is. Like, they just gave me a convertible loaner while they're fixing my car. Okay, I've been acting young for like 3 days. And I'm talking about, boy, I tell you, I've been acting really young. Every time I get in the car, I'm like, zoom, 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 zoom. It's really bad because I'm a grown ass man, and I've been thinking, boy, what the fuck are you doing? But anyway, but when I drive my X7 or if I'm driving this little sports convertible, they drive like no others. Like, what's amazing about this, like when I put the top down, I don't look at the car and be like, this design is just amazing. That's why I say when I see a Rolls Royce, right? I'm like, whoa, like the new Rolls Royces, them some cold motherfucking looking cars. But when you drive one, it's an experience. If your product is that good, design a way for customers to have interaction. Don't sit there and sell me your ego. And if it ain't that good, let the customers teach you how to make it better. But you gotta focus on ways to bring the customer in. Like, like I remember I had a caterer one time. This one caterer, she won my teacher. I forgot whatever happened to her, but she literally said, let me bring you some tasters of my food. And brought me a plate of her food. I was won. I was like, oh my God. Yes, let's do this. Okay, she brought me in, made me change. If I thought about going this person, you hit me directly with, taste this. But when you're a taker or you dealing with scarcity mindset, you can't participate in this. You're too busy trying to get your money. No, I want to work for you. Cool. I'm the coldest designer you ever seen. Cool. I don't need a design right now. Let me just do a couple of things for you for free. Just check it out. If you don't want it, fine. Even if I can't hire you, if you're that good, there's two things going to happen. Either I'm going to give you feedback that says you're not that good, which means you're going to become better. Or you're so good, and even if I can't hire you, all I can think about is hiring you. But what happens is that when your cocky ass come to me and try to tell me you're great, but don't do anything to let me sample what my comfort zone and change my norms, I have no reason to change. I can go, you ever seen somebody says, there's a pimp that says, they'll find money. I ain't gonna tell the story because it's a little too brutal, but they'll find money, right? People, we can find money for what we want. You ever seen the hood? They got some nice shoes on. Some of them got some really nice rims and nice music. Some of the music systems sound cold as a motherfucker, right? People can find money, but they won't find it if they stuck in inertia. It's not that your business is bad. You just ain't figured a way to get them outside their inertia. If I always go to the gym, you want me to go to your gym? Hey, come on in here and work out with me for a couple of days. Let me just see what you're doing. Maybe you go like, oh shit, this is way better. But if your system is like, I gotta get paid. I'm out here trying to survive like you too. You're not in business. You're over there trying to heal your scarcity. Here, one more slide, then we're gonna call it a day for this one. Huh? I got 2 slides left? I'm gangster as a motherfucker tonight. What? Let's read this, Shabisha. Read that shit like speed reader. Go ahead.
We like to think we're open-minded and willing to change our beliefs when the facts change, but history has shown otherwise. When the automobile was first introduced, many critics dismissed it as a mere fad, arguing that horses and carriages were a more reliable mode of transportation.
When you hear somebody arguing the past is better than the future, be aware it might be inertia. This is why when you listen, like when I hear people like, oh man, the way we used to do it, you hear it in the NBA, we hear sports. Back in the 90s when we played basketball, slow it down a little bit, right? And Gilbert Arenas does a poor job of showing
Piss poor.
Yeah, but he tries to make an argument, an anti-inertia argument, which is, y'all had on Converse, bro. How the fuck y'all comparing yourself to us? We have professional trainers. We evolve. We're different. Everything in the game is different. The speed is different, right? And honestly, so I went to go watch a basketball game about a couple of months ago. Them motherfuckers fast. We didn't move that fast. Them kids be like, whew. You're like, hold it, and you still got control. Like if I ran to that wall and somehow I was just tap it, and then the ball was supposed to fall into a little net. Let me tell you what's going to happen if I do that. I'm going through the wall, right? I don't have the ability to stop, jump, and then figure roll. It's going to be stop, jump, injury. like this. I wasn't built like these new animals, right? These new men are on some new shit. So nothing stays the same because competition says it can't. Let me say this again. Nothing stays the same because competition says it can't. Mm-hmm. So every time you say this is how we used to do it, you're no longer having a strategical dialogue. You're just echoing inertia. You see what do y'all see how powerful this shit is? Like there's so much inertia talk around you that you think is strategical, and you don't realize it is not strategical. It is an mental flaw of a human being, and we can't think about strategy because we're stuck in inertia. Every time you say Martin said, Malcolm X said, Martin says, Malcolm X said, and you're like loyal to what they said, that's inertia. My favorite leader of all time, a black leader, one of my favorite leaders of all time was Marcus Garvey. But I take his inspiration, but I can't take his knowledge of that time and apply it accurately to this time because there's so many different variables that are moving in front of me. And if I want to serve the future market, I got to be careful of this thing called inertia, which will position me out of the game and don't even know I'm out of the game. You think you're in the game, but you're actually out the fucking game because you're trapped in this energy that's kind of pulling you towards your comfort zones. You know, in the hood, when we used to come up in Oakland, we used to be like, I hear you. And that's fun to have fun. It's like, we got to have fun in our conversation. It's like playing dominoes. Like, we'll talk that shit. But when it comes time for me to work on strategy, I will never see no stupid shit like that. I stay in the barbershop and laugh and tell jokes, right? I know how to separate my barbershop humor to my strategical thinking. And when I'm strategically thinking, I turn down all that inertia shit and try to look forward. You reference the bad, like, okay, when I look at the past, it's like the rearview mirror in your car. I check the mirror to make sure I change lanes, but I make sure I'm looking forward. You see where I'm going with this? Some of y'all look in the rearview mirror and be driving the whole fucking time. Oh, shit. Right? I'm looking forward. I'm always referencing my mirrors as I'm moving forward. That's how I use history all the time to give me context, to give me so for example, if you don't look in your mirror, it changes the magnitude of your perception. Oh my God, this is so serious. No, it's not. History tell you this is not. We're nowhere near serious. Oh my God, this ain't gonna never stop. History tell you it's gonna stop. If you're over 50 and you ever had an injury, you would think this is gonna be the way it's gonna be for the rest of your life. But if you knew history, you talk to older people, they'd be like, oh no, you just, once you just go soak your knee in some water, you'd be all right. Right? But or drink some Robitussin or something. You know how it works, right? But regardless is that inertia. A lot of older people, when they give advice, you got to know the difference between advice and inertia. When your staff is echoing fears, you got to know the difference between fear and inertia. When people are rebelling against a system and say something is unfair, justification, is it fear or is it inertia? Ain't that cold? Gentrification had to happen. It was going to happen. We weren't positioned well to not stop it from. Can we stop it? Yes, you can always stop gentrification, but your investment has to be bigger than that. But if you're economically weak, those are part of the symptoms of being economically weak. You can be gentrified if your land becomes valuable. So when you say it shouldn't happen, on what basis is your argument? Is it just inertia? They shouldn't come in and take my house. They shouldn't buy up my neighborhood. Because you're comfortable in that neighborhood, or because you're so actively invested in the neighborhood that they have to almost rob you to get it from you. You see the difference? See the inertia argument? Man, this inertia shit is so fucking crazy. If you start going back and look at your strategy and decisions you made in the past, watch how much of it's inertia. When y'all really dig this shit, y'all be like, oh, fuck. And then once you start developing anti-inertia models and ways of thinking, you will literally position yourself to not be victimized by inertia. And it's going to feel normal when you learn to move opposite from inertia, and you're moving with a team. You're going to quite often feel disruptive, and sometimes you will fail. But you would. So you ever had a situation like you ever seen somebody in a war movie and the dude's like, "Yo, all right, they come into the door. Should I just stay here?" He goes, "Well, staying here, you're gonna die. So we might as well just run the door and just go out shooting." Which means that's the only opportunity we have is to move out the door. Staying here is guaranteed you're gonna die. If you buy into inertia, it's like staying in that room waiting for your death. You're gonna have to open those doors and come out blazing, shooting. And even if you come out shooting, you may actually survive. It might only be 3 guys with a gun out there. And as you shoot and you hit 2 of those guys with a gun, the other ones might be like, oh, fuck, I'm out of here. I was trying to get shot. But by you just sitting there, you've guaranteed your death. So inertia is just a slow death, but it's a guaranteed death. And I promise you, there's so many businesses. Sears died because of inertia. Macy's died because of inertia. A lot of big companies die, big businesses. That's one of the reasons a lot of them die, because they suffer from inertia. And companies like Coca-Cola, the reason what's the name invested in Coca-Cola, because they've been able to fight. If you look at the way they move, they fight inertia all the time. Coca-Cola's changed their brand so many. Now, their logo hasn't changed much, but how they position themselves and how they change their brand moving through the decades, they reinvent themselves all the fucking time, right? And they have scaling advantage, meaning that they're everywhere you turn. Everywhere you turn around, you can find in certain cities, in certain states, all you see is Coke, right? And they continue to lock down their trademark to the point, I wish you would call yourself Coca-Cola, right? They'd be like, coming for you, baby. We got this shit trademarked, right? Why? Because they understand the business of You don't get to stand still. And you don't keep things the same the way it has. When they tried the Coke Zero, or the new versions of Coke, even like the Diet Coke, Coke Zero and Diet Coke is like night and day, right? Because as the taste buds, and then here's the thing about Coca-Cola, they don't just make Coke. You like water? We got that. You like lemonade? We got that too. You like kombucha? Gotcha. Right? They're survivors, baby. Well, some of y'all be like, this is who I am. This is what I stand for. I ain't gonna never change. This is what I believe in. Inertia. Fuck your beliefs. So now you hear when I say, fuck your beliefs? It's not, if your beliefs are working, rock them. Rinse and repeat. But when you rinse and stop repeating, dump it. Dump it. Stop all that. It got me here. It was here when no one else cared for me. It covered me when I was asleep. I pray to God for this. None has already threw it off and run down the street. I don't give a fuck. I love black people, and I want to always participate in a healthy evolution of our culture. I love human beings. I want to participate in the evolution of all human beings. Those two things probably don't change for me. Unless God gives me a reason for that to change. Right now, those are pretty solid. Now, in my method and strategy, and this is what I'm saying because this is my closing point. In my strategy on how I'm going to achieve those two goals, everything changes. Whatever's necessary. If I find out tomorrow the best way to help black folks is paint every building yellow, none of them will be investing in yellow tomorrow. And if the next generation say they want purple buildings, well, God damn it, I'm painting them purple with prints on the side. That's what we're going to do. Have Barney walking through every neighborhood. All right, that was said. Look, y'all have a good ass night. I have a part 2 to inertia next week. We're going to talk about right versus wrong is an inertia problem. So that's next week. See you next week. Peace.